moving teeth into a better position, to reversible cosmetic bonding, to full mouth implant supported dentures. It is our goal to help patients feel good about their appearance while achieving optimal health. Want to learn more? Call us at 865-539-1776 to schedule an evaluation or visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio. WKGN 1340, go Vols!
You're tuned in to East Tennessee's premier sports radio call-in show. This is The Drive.
And hello, good afternoon, and welcome to another stellar edition of The Drive, Fan Run Radio. Russell Smith punching the time clock. It's a beautiful Friday, setting up for a beautiful weekend with a lot happening in the world of sports. We've got Senior Day tomorrow at Thompson Bowling Assembly Center and Arena. Where does the time go? We've got college baseball this weekend at Lindsey Nelson Stadium with some start times being shuffled already for the weekend. And we've got a lot to get to here this afternoon. We got to start with the Lady Vols.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, I'll tell you what we don't have is a Lady Vols basketball game this weekend.
Bob, I understand Danny White went out there early, and I'm beginning to think that was a mistake, what he did on state-run radio earlier this week. Not saying that, like, giving her the vote of confidence was the wrong move, but I think the timing was wrong because clearly this program is in a tailspin. And now they go to the tournament with all kinds. I mean, the story off the court is 10 times more interesting than what the thing on the court is over. I mean, that's obviously done with. And I don't know. You've got a lot of sources on this. We're going to talk to Ryan Sylvia, who works for you guys over at Rocky Top Insider, coming up here in just a few minutes. He was in Greenville last night for the meltdown and the meltdown after the game. There's, again, the meltdown on the court, the meltdown off the court. And I don't know. I have been firmly a Kim Caldwell supporter, even as things have spiraled this year. I think she should be back for year 3. But after last night, the effort, or shall we say lack thereof, that we saw on the court, and then the drama we saw off the court, the best player apparently walking off the team last night, I don't know that we need another year of Kim Caldwell. Is that overstating it?
No, it's not. Just based on some of the things I've been hearing today, too, that's, really reliable sources. It's not implausible to think that this might be they might turn over the entire roster in the offseason going into next season. And if that's the case, at that point, it's like, why wouldn't you think about making a change at that point, too, with coaches, everything, rather than see if it's going to work? Because we're going to be having this conversation all next season, guaranteed.
So you lose to Alabama. It's the first time in 9 years that they've been one and done in the SEC tournament. Another just pitiful, obviously what Kim said weeks ago, this team has quit. They don't give effort. They don't play hard. Another pitiful performance on the court. After the game, walk us through what happens with Talasia Cooper.
Well, I mean, to the best of my knowledge, everybody saw, if you were watching the game, Talasia got pulled out with only about 2 minutes into the third quarter and never played again. Now,
their best player.
Best player. No, without a question. The only, the one player on that team, some say maybe Janiah Barker, but I think both of them have set themselves back in terms of being WNBA prospects. But yeah, Talasia's the best player on the team. There's no question about it. She said something to Kim on the sidelines that I can't repeat.
Can you, no way to work around it? Text it to me. I could probably figure out how to.
No.
Like she said something to her as she's walking off the floor.
Yeah. Yeah. She was, because there's all sorts of points of view about maybe because she runs offense a lot of times when Paldo's not in there. She's up at the top of the key. And I think Kim had some issues with how she was running offense. And there may have been other stuff too. It might have been effort. Who knows? But the fact of the matter is, Talasia apparently had enough and she said something to Kim, and that's why you never saw her back in the game. We also know that she left the locker room before the rest of the team did and went and got on the team bus. And what I have heard now on that is that's because it might have escalated even more in the locker room. And
like gotten physical?
Possibly.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, at that point, she should, maybe find her own way home. I'd have kicked her off the team.
So Kim, at that point, that's a moment where, okay, for Kim, I kind of feel bad for her because she has to dance around that with the media. You can't go into detail. She just said, we just gave her a chance to go get some air and,
needed some air.
Yeah.
We all?
She was disappointed, et cetera. But it underscores because the story, it is pretty well known at this point. The reason that Janiah Barker was suspended for a game was she kind of went through the same drill with Kim.
Talk back, as my parents call it. No talk back or back talk. Whatever.
So to say she's probably lost the team, I'd say that's pretty safe to say right now. Is that is Kim entirely culpable? Probably not. It sounds like some of it is.
She just really messed up the
Chemistry.
roster construction.
Yeah.
Brought in
Bad egg.
wrong players, whatever. It just has not worked.
But now, Denia Prawl did not travel with the team. The rumor is that she's gone, and Notre Dame appears to be the leader in the clubhouse there.
Oh, of course.
Look, the way I look at it is, hey, man, in this day and age of tampering, and you see all this stuff out there front and center, all these opposing coaches, man, this is like they smell blood in the water, man. All these freshmen, they're going to be approached if they haven't been approached already. The whole situation with the Paldo twins, we've talked about that. We know that their dad, DJ Paldo, is very hands-on. And there might have already been work being done on that in that camp already.
Hey, man, I'll say this, Bob, like helicopter dad, whatever you want to call it, if my daughter is on this team.
Yeah.
And I've sent her to a historic women's basketball powerhouse program to play for this young up-and-coming coach. And I think that this is going to be a good – forget the money aspect of it and what they're getting paid. If I want my daughter developed as a basketball player and I'm looking at – because you know what you know. You know that the parents are hearing from their kids. They know everything.
Oh, of course.
That's going on. And maybe it's slanted through the kids' glasses or whatever. But if I'm hearing feedback of a toxic atmosphere, which is obviously, whether it's Kim's fault or the player's fault, it is clearly toxic in that locker room and inside that program right now. In a day and age where you don't have to sit out and you've only got 4 years to play, I'm probably taking my daughter out of that situation as well. Nobody wants their children to be in a dysfunctional situation when you have such a limited time to go to college and develop.
Yeah. No, I well said. I think that
so I don't blame Mr. Paldo, even if he is a quote unquote helicopter dad.
No, and this is a different kind of scenario. This is, I think, very different than like Big Nick with Nico, because it was not like the football program was in shambles or anything at this point. Where I do feel this is the case here. And the thing I can't help but think about throughout all of this is Kim came in with only 1 year experience at a D1 school, and it was a mid-major at that. Successful. That's great. I think Danny White's culpable here a little bit is what I'm getting at. Okay. I mean, it's like if you make that hire, then give her all the tools to succeed.
The support.
Yeah.
Man.
And it's also, great. You gave her a vote of confidence. Man, she needs other help, in my opinion, because I've been in this business for a very, very long time. She needs other help. Like she needs like a coach, like a performance coach, how she deals with the media, how she deals with the boosters, all of this. It's not happening, man. And now what gets exposed, all of that gets exposed. And then it's all rooted to her shortcomings she's having right now with the relationships with her players. So she has like nowhere to turn at this point, is what it feels like to me.
It almost feels like it was just a huge setup for her. You got 1 year of D1 experience, and we probably should have, and we probably did focus in on that. I mean, it's like Russ just said, probably the most historic women's basketball program in the country.
Do you see the thing I sent last night? It's from Sylvia. We're going to hear from him here in a few minutes. Even in the midst of all this, Tennessee is the third most watched. The Lady Vols, third most watched women's basketball program.
No, we are women's basketball.
Yeah.
Tennessee.
I mean, and that's with us being kind of in a down cycle. You know, I mean
we're a damn dumpster fire.
Yeah, it's bad, man. It's really bad, and it's disappointing to see. And yes, I agree with what you said earlier, Russ. It's like, I don't know, man. It's like, if you're going to start from scratch, literally, it's like, why would you kick the can down the road for another year? I've been the one saying she probably deserves a third year because her first year was pretty solid. Well, but now I don't know.
I mean, if we're going to be critical of Danny White, again, I go back to, why did you go on the radio this week and give that vote of confidence before the season was over? Because if he hadn't done that and everything had happened as it's happening, disaster last night in Greenville, I can't imagine what this next week is going to be like. Probably one and done in the tournament, I would guess. And then if what you're saying is true, and there is a mass exodus of players to where you only have a handful of players left on the roster, everyone leaves.
Blow it up.
Then, I don't think anybody would have blamed Danny White for just stepping in quietly and saying, and just letting her go.
Yeah.
We're going to start over here. And, he would have taken a hit because your hire didn't work out. It was, 2 years and done. That's a pretty bad hire, obviously. But now you've pretty much locked yourself into it. If you do turn around and say, no, this isn't working, we're going to make a change, then you've contradicted yourself, and you look really bad. So I don't know what he does at this point, but something drastic is going to have to change for that pro. I mean, even if they bring her back next year with a whole new roster, young players.
But do you have faith in her system at this point?
That's what I'm getting at. Do you think it's going to be any better? So at that point, you're just postponing the inevitable.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it. That's exactly it.
I'm not even joking around now. Now I'm wondering, why we don't go out and just bring back Kara. We had Kelly Hart and we ran her off, one of the all-time Lady Vol greats, because they were loafing a little bit last year. I mean, if we're going to run Kelly Harper out of town,
well, it's not about
didn't quit on Kelly.
It's not about the firing. It's about the hiring.
Bring me Kara Lawson.
You gambled big time. You went the young up-and-comer route, and so far has not worked out. So we'll cross the next higher bridge when we come to it, but right now it's about the patient is bleeding out on the table. Can it be stabilized?
Something's got to give, because the other thing I would say, too, that I have heard was that not necessarily – so Kim might not have necessarily been the top choice. They went after some of the bigger names, and the bigger names were not interested.
See, I've heard that, too.
Yeah.
What were the bigger names?
I don't know.
It's some of the usual suspects. Jeff Walls is always top of the list with Louisville.
I heard that he would crawl here.
Yeah, that's what I had heard, too. I forget.
I know the guy at NC State would come.
Yeah, Westmore. Corey Close, I think that's her name, at UCLA was another one. A really, really hot commodity as far as a young coach, Jenny Barancic at Oklahoma.
About the Walker's gal at Arizona State. Molly.
Let her stay.
Good golly, Miss Molly.
Well,
she wasn't at ASU when she was at Grand Canyon when we made the hire.
Right.
I don't know if I'm buying that, and I'm not casting aspersions on your sources, but I would be stunned if the Lady Vol job wasn't seen as at worst, the third or fourth best job in the country with the facilities and the obvious commitment we have. I mean, you've got
well here. Let's take it one step further. I didn't finish my point here. Some of these are names that the way this process was going was through a headhunter or a recruiter. It wasn't
Parker firm.
It wasn't Danny specifically, is what I've understood. And so when you go through a recruiter, it starts to become more public. And some of these people, they were like, maybe they wanted to listen, but they also didn't want to jeopardize their current status. So there was just the way this game's been played all the way through. So, I mean, there's
nobody's interested until they are.
Yeah.
And you didn't offer your job to anybody except the one person who took it.
Yeah.
It's always that game works both ways.
It's like Phil said, another name. I'm telling you, man, I'd love Jeff Waltz. Kara Lawson would be great. Shay Ralph from Vanderbilt would be great. I mean,
you bring in a UConn player here.
Hey, she's good, man. If you watch that game Sunday, come on, man. You'd rather just stay the course?
No, I want if we have to make a change, that they need to bring back Kara Lawson. She's a proven commodity now. Lady Vol great.
But with Bear's extensive knowledge of the women's college basketball coaching landscape, he's spoken.
Yeah.
He's done his research. He knows what he wants.
I'd rather have Kara Lawson rather
do our research. Have you done your research?
One of Gino's girls from the Evil Empire up there in Connecticut. Hell with that.
Be honest, Bear.
What?
Did you know Shay Ralph went to UConn until I said so 2 seconds ago?
But what I do know is Kara Lawson did.
All right, coming up.
And I'm just saying.
We got Ryan Sylvia, RockyTopInsider.com. He was at the scene of the crime. Also, we're going to get into Tennessee Senior Day. Rick Barnes meeting with the media earlier this afternoon. It'll be the last time we see Jacoby Gillespie, Amari Abrams, Felix Acapara play, and
Grant Hurst better start.
That
probably
was the
the last chance that we're going to see Nate Ament in Thompson Bowling Arena. The only question is, will he suit up for the Big Orange tomorrow? We'll get into some of that. The Drive Fan Run Radio Friday afternoon edition of the show. Stay with us. We're back with more right after this.
The Drive.
Check out exclusive Fan Run video content on YouTube. Just search Fan Run Sports and be sure to like and subscribe.
Check out Lenoir City's newest place to hang out, watch sports, and drink the best craft beers in America. The Casual Pint Lenoir City is now open on Highway 321. They've got over 30 beers on tap, with everything from lagers and pilsners to sours and IPAs, as well as stouts, porters, and brown ales. You can also create your own six-pack from their singles cooler or pick up some packaged beer and a growler fill to go. And be sure to bring your appetite, because they have a great menu featuring appetizers, brats, burgers, flatbreads, and wings. It's the Casual Pint Lenoir City, now open on Highway 321 across from Gold's Gym in Lenoir City. Swing by and check them out, and don't forget to tell them Fan Run Radio sent you.
Citizens National Bank.
Experience the thrill of traveling with C&B's exclusive travel program. Customers age 50 and above with a Plus Perks checking account can participate, ensuring a safe and delightful travel adventure. Take a day trip or an overnight trip. Travel domestic or international. C&B is always on the go.
Citizens National Bank. Banking never felt so good.
Member FDIC.
What's up, Fan Run Nation? This is Evan Rogers with ECR Total Landscapes. I'm happy to announce that our free stump grinding promotion for Fan Run Radio listeners is now extended to March 31st, 2026. If you've got trees in your yard that need to come down before they fall on your home, don't risk it. Call ECR Total Landscapes and mention you heard our ad on Fan Run Radio, and we'll get rid of that problem tree for you and grind those stumps for free. Call us at 865-384-2012 or check us out online at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Are you ready for the start of a new season? Maybe looking for your team to go on a tournament run? Get game day ready with Crumble. Head on over to your nearest location and pick up 12 pre-selected cookies plus exclusive toppers. When you're looking for dessert options, there's no question about who you should call on. Our listeners already know. Last year, the Dubai chocolate was a home run, along with the brownie batter. Oreo crumb was another crowd favorite. What new flavor will set the standard this season? If you're in the Knoxville area, there are 3 locations ready to serve you. Clinton Highway, Parkside Drive, and Maryville. Download the Crumble app to build your best lineup and vote on the best combos. You can even put your bid in to request a new flavor. Order in the app and slide on over to your nearest location. Tell them Fan Run sent you, and as always, it's for the fans, by the fans. Don't miss the cookies.
Kind of hard-hitting analysis you only get here at Fan Run Radio. Russell and Bob back with you. Ryan Sylvia covers all things Tennessee for RockyTopInsider.com. He was in Greenville last night where the Lady Vol meltdown continues. Ryan, good afternoon. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, guys. Just got back to beautiful Knoxville, so I'm doing all right.
Are you, were you a little shaky last night when things were getting tense over there?
Man, it was, I guess, 0 days since last nonsense for this program sometimes. So you get a little used to it at this point.
What is the vibe like in those press conferences, Ryan, where all the media know, like these issues behind the scenes are so public. They're not really behind the scenes anymore. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows it. Y'all have to ask Kim about it. She clearly doesn't want to talk about it. I'd imagine that's a bit of a tense atmosphere.
Yeah, I'll give Kim credit for this, too. It's not like she gets super defensive at us or anything, because I think she understands that, hey, Talasia Cooper didn't play much in the second half. Something's happening. We got to ask about it. And that's just our job, and she's going to do her job and answer it to the extent that she wants to. So it can get tense, I guess, but she's not someone like you see some head coaches. I think Russell Westbrook yesterday was going at some media members and stuff like that. But Kim's been as nice as you would expect a coach to be to us. So I do appreciate that.
So let's talk about the game a little bit. You and I have talked. My wife's a big fan, so we watched the game, and I watched a good portion of it. But I don't know. Alabama started out pretty hot, and then Tennessee drew close, and I felt like in the first half, it was like, this thing's still within reach. I know it's 10-point deficit, but hey, man, third quarter, that's all you have to say. That seems to be the pattern here. That's when it all started to fall apart.
Yeah, when they went down 10 at halftime, that was when it's kind of like, if you just look at, like you said, the third quarters, they just haven't played well out of the halftime break. And whether that's making the wrong adjustments or you're trying to make the right adjustments and it's just not sticking with the players and the game plan, whatever it is, they've just been awful in the third quarter. And this one really wasn't as bad as some of them have been in the past, but you still lost it by 5 points. And now all of a sudden you're going into the fourth quarter down 15. And, it kind of started early offensively, I think, for Alabama. They were doing what they wanted to inside. They got their center, Essence Cody, back, who didn't play when Tennessee beat Alabama on the road earlier in the season. So that was a big deal for them. And Tennessee just didn't have much of a response. And then you look at the press, Tennessee doesn't force a turnover in the first quarter. And if you're going to be pressing the entire game, you need to force, at least one turnover per quarter and start scoring in transition and doing those types of things. And they just weren't able to do it. So it just started to snowball. But like you said, the Lady Vols are kind of still hanging around. Like, you make a couple shots, maybe you're back into it. And then ultimately it kind of felt like, to me, maybe a situation where Alabama wanted it a little bit more. Like, Lady Vols have all the utensils to make a comeback and have the star power to do those different types of things. But you could tell the energy, I guess, on the Alabama sideline was a little bit higher from start to finish.
Ryan Sylvia, RockyTopInsider.com with us this afternoon here on Fan Run Radio. And Ryan, again, this thing has really gone off the rails for Kim Caldwell here at the end of her second season in Knoxville. What does the rest of the season look like, in your opinion? And more importantly, what does the offseason look like?
Yeah, you just kind of have to hold on right now because you have that break. It's not like the men's tournament where you play that SEC championship game on Sunday and a couple hours later, you're playing in or you find out your March Madness selection, then you're turning around going to the site. You got a week off because they'll have the same selection Sunday as the men's do. So they have to wait a little bit. They're going to have to work on themselves, and you just kind of have to make sure the team's still together the best you can. There's clearly some issues that need to be resolved. And you don't lose 7 straight games and everyone's sitting around with a smile on their face. That's almost worse than if you weren't upset about it. So you've got to figure out a way to keep everyone together the best you can, and then just go from there once you get that confirmation, I guess, on who you're playing. You can start those scouts and things like that. That the off season, though, is going to be a whole nother question, because when things start to trend poorly, when there's a lot of attention on it like there is for Tennessee, it's one of the biggest women's basketball programs in the country. It's one of the biggest athletic departments in the country. There's going to be a lot of eyes on it. How does that shake out? What group of players, when the transfer portal opens, want to stick around and run this back and try it again and believe in it, and how many are like, man, I gave it a shot for a year or two and I just don't think this is working out. I'm going to look elsewhere. So you have to expect, just with pretty much any team across the country, but especially a team that's not winning a lot of basketball games, probably going to have a good amount of transfers. How are you going to plug those holes next year?
Okay. So that's the path forward. Let's talk a little bit. We talked about it earlier in the show. At least your interpretation of what you heard, saw, etc., that happened post game with Talasia Cooper, because that seems to be well chronicled at this point. It was right there in front of our very eyes in the game action, where she left the game 2 minutes into the third quarter. We never saw her again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and it comes after a turnover that I don't think Kim Caldwell was pleased with. And then there was a couple other moments early in that second half where it looked like Kim was frustrated with Talasia. And then that boils over to a point where now all of a sudden you feel like it's not in the best interest of the team that you can put her back on the floor. And she's your best player. And, I'm not saying Tennessee wins that game with her on the floor, but you certainly have a much better chance to start cutting into that lead in the third quarter and make it a ball game, and you see where you end up if she's on the floor. And then, obviously, I think we all know the locker rooms are open to the media after a certain period for a certain amount of time at the SEC and NCAA tournaments. And, it's supposed to be all the players open and you can go up to people. And, after a loss, of course, naturally, you're not going to be happy after a loss. So it can be tough to talk to some players who are down about it more than others. But Talasia was, I don't want to say escorted. She was kind of accompanied by a staffer and kind of went out the back a little bit through a kind of a garage door over towards what I would assume the team bus was over there. So she wasn't available to the media, and that was kind of in front of us. So you turn the page and ask Kim about what happened, and that's when she gives you the response about it's a coach's decision, and you just kind of have to go forward from there. So it's a situation that isn't good, and to me, it's just like no matter what happened between Talasia and the program or Talasia and whoever, it's just like since the South Carolina game, it feels like they've had so many off the court or that type of issues between Janiah Barker's not meeting program standards and she can't play in a game. Now you're having to bench Talasia Cooper and you have Kaya Wynn in the middle of it who's stepping away from the program. It just seems like on top of the losses, which are already frustrating enough, already kind of headline worthy enough, there's just the extracurricular stuff that I think is really what's starting to build up a lot of frustration.
Ryan, with Cooper leaving, so walk me through. Did she go to the locker room and change and then leave on her own? Like I'm not sticking around for this. I'm as a disrespect to Kim, or is it more like Kim threw her out early?
I don't have concrete confirmation to say either way on that. She, as far as I know, she went to the locker room. She was with the team going to the locker room. And after a period in there, she left with some staffers. So I don't think it was like at this point, she's still like we have to move forward at this point that she's still with the team. We'll see what comes from that, I guess, if anything does, or if she will stick around for the NCAA tournament. But as far as I know, it seemed like she was in the locker room with the team. And then at some point, just kind of, as Kim said, had to get her some air and she had to get outside.
Wow.
What are you hearing, Bob? Was she thrown out, or did she leave on her own accord?
No, I haven't. I don't know. I had heard that she just left before the rest of the team left was all I had heard, which, again, pretty
not good.
I mean, regardless of how that went down, that's equally bad. Yeah. Either she stuffed her bag with her stuff and stormed out, or she got asked to leave by the head coach. Neither's good.
Yeah.
Well, leaving on your own accord is worse We all agree, right? People get kicked out you get kicked out of practice. Coach says, just go. That happens regularly.
Sure.
When the player leaves, I'm walking out, which, Ryan, they had a girl quit on the team very publicly this week. Like after senior day, I didn't get to start, whatever. I'm done. She's walking out. And now this, Kim called her team quitters, and whether it's her fault or who, they are backing her up lately.
Yeah, I mean, that is true when you look at that in retrospect, because it's and in a vacuum, if you look at the games they've lost, a lot of them, it's like, yeah, of course, Tennessee Lady Vols basketball should be competing with anyone in the country, should be competing for national championships. But in a vacuum with what this team is this year, sure, you're going to lose to a top 5 team, Texas. You might lose a game at number 11, Oklahoma, or at home to top 5 Vanderbilt, and on the road at South Carolina. Those are tough games. Losing 7 in a row, and then of course the Alabama game you should have won in the SEC tournament, then you should have beat Texas A&M at home. But it's just all the stuff that's intertwined with it, as far as the senior day stuff, however you feel about, the picking sides between that, and like we said, the Janai and the Talasia, and then some post-game comments that people aren't fans of. It's just everything that's wrapped into it, and then the streak of it. It's 10 of the last 12 as well, so it's not like it's just, hey, 7 straight, but before that you were cruising. You were also starting to slip up there as well. It's going to be, to me, a big ask for this team to get back on the same page, to the point where you're probably looking like an 8 or a 9 seed. That's going to be a tough first-round matchup wherever they send them, which could very well be up to Storrs, Connecticut right now, too. They played every single 1 seed right now. So that's a whole separate conversation, but you're looking at the projected 1 seeds of UConn, UCLA, South Carolina, Texas. Maybe Vanderbilt can take a Texas spot or something like that. You played all those teams. To me, it makes a lot of sense for the committee to try to get that storyline going up in Storrs, and that would be an interesting storyline as far as Tennessee trying to fight for its life against a 9 seed or an 8 seed. And then if you do manage to win that game, now you got a rematch with UConn, who handled you pretty easily.
Bob, I don't see this team having to worry about a matchup with a 1 seed at this point.
Hey, Ryan, the other thing too is, and I mean, we're not going to go too far down the rabbit hole, but I mean, there's all sorts of chatter about, Denia Prawl didn't travel with the team. There's a lot of rumors and scuttle out there about she's as good as gone, and it could be happening with other players. My question to you is, and this is just your gut, this isn't anything else, but it's like, have you ever? I can't recall. At least maybe there's been other examples of this, but this one's so close to home, maybe it stands out. But I can't recall a total system failure to the level of what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, I guess as far as Denia Prawl, what I've been told is it's a concussion, and that's why she wasn't able to travel with the team. Yeah. And I mean, it is a team that has had a lot of concussions too, so that's a whole nother conversation, I guess, as well. But I've heard from multiple people that she does have a concussion. Whether she transfers or not, that's a whole different conversation. But as far as what I've heard, I don't think it's a situation where, yeah, she's already in the portal right now, and that's why she's not with the team. Like I said, as far as I've heard, she truly does have a concussion that she suffered in practice. But yeah, I mean, I think just compared to what you saw last year, as far as kind of the overall look at it, is you saw a team that kind of defied some expectations. Like, you go into last season, I think a lot of people are like, hey, just make the tournament. Just make the tournament. It's weird. You lost, it's a weird scenario. You're going into your first year as a major head coach. Make the tournament and let's build from there and then start to compete. And you beat UConn, and you play Texas close, Oklahoma close, LSU close. You play all these teams close, and you make your run to the Sweet 16. And so now all of a sudden you're a top 10 preseason team. You land this big portal class. You land this big transfer portal class, and it's just gone so far so quickly in the other direction. I think it's right. It's tough to compare it to much besides kind of the nonsense of maybe the 2010 Tennessee football programs, where there was feeling like it was something coming up every week. So it's been strange. It's been surprising. Like, I certainly didn't think that they would have this many struggles this year, but they've got to figure it out fast because it doesn't feel like there's going to be the longest leash in the world. I'm not saying she's going to be fired after this season, but like next season, if Danny White does decide to bring her back, is going to be a big prove it year for sure.
He's Ryan Sylvia, RockyTopInsider.com. And Ryan, you just said if he decides to bring her back. He's already said publicly this week that he's behind her. He didn't even use the phrase coming back as if that were any sort of he said that he is more, what was it, Bob? I'm more encouraged than I was the day I hired her.
Something to that effect.
We're all in on the Coach Kim experiment here. Now, I realized that last night was ugly. We'll see what the next week brings.
Well, he made the comment too. What I do remember was we knew this wasn't going to be a quick fix.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, going from Sweet 16 to what we're seeing now is that's going in the wrong direction. There's no question.
And I think what made some people frustrated by those comments too is when you talk about being a quick fix, you're looking at a program that, were they competing for national championships? No. Were they as good as they should have been? No. But it was back-to-back Sweet 16 and then a round of 32 exit. I think they were a 5 seed that year. So it's like the quick fix feels like something you would say about a program that's struggling to make the tournament.
Right.
But instead it was a program that just a couple of years ago was playing in the SEC tournament championship game and things like that. So I think that also draws a little bit to it. But you're right. I mean, publicly so far, Danny White has been fully in support of Kim Caldwell as Lady Vols head coach.
You see any way he walks that back?
I mean, I personally, like, if I'm betting on if Kim Caldwell's head coach next year, I think that she will be. But it's, you know, in this day in college sports, for both players in the portal, it moves so quickly, and then also for coaching changes. I mean, you saw what happened in the SEC in football this past year. Like some years it's kind of silent, all of a sudden it's just an onslaught and people make quick moves and have quick triggers, and you just kind of never know.
Is there any, again, where some of this is conjecture, I get it, but with Olivia Edwards coming in next season, the top class of 26 prospect, do we worry about that possibly being in jeopardy now, just based on if she's sitting there in her camps watching all of this play out?
That's another, you know, just kind of this era of college sports where she's signed, but that obviously doesn't mean that she has to stay signed. So, I mean, you're going to have to keep recruiting her and Gabby Minus, the other highly rated recruit that they have signed in this recruiting class. I think that's, you know, just kind of what the case is. You looked like one thing in September when she committed, and then things have turned in the wrong direction. She came out, probably about maybe a little less than a month ago, maybe a month ago, and she was like, people telling me to decommit, I'm not doing it, things like that, talking highly about assistant coach Gabe Lazo, who was her primary recruiter. But I think that's certainly going to be something that with anyone, and that goes with players that you want to retain from this current roster as well. With anyone, the recruiting process kind of just never stops. You're always going to have to continue to sell your pitches and do those types of things to keep them on campus.
All right, Ryan, good stuff. Anything else on Lady Vol basketball that you find pertinent to today's conversation before we let you run?
Man, I feel like we hit it. I'm sure I'm forgetting something because so much has happened, but it's just been an interesting trip. Like I said, it's starting to get a little too familiar, I think.
I was going to say, you can confide in us, Ryan. Are you glad the season's getting close to being over?
Well, you know, it's on one hand, it's been an interesting one. So it's had its twists and turns. It's like a roller coaster.
Yeah, that's a way to put it.
Never a dull moment.
No doubt.
Ryan, we appreciate it, my friend. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Ryan.
Ryan Sylvia, RockyTopInsider.com. It was a great job covering the Lady Vols. I bet he thought that March would be a very different month for him at the beginning of the season.
Probably so.
I mean, we all did because she did so well. They did so well. They overachieved last year. Didn't we beat UConn last year?
We did. We did. That was the last game UConn had lost for a very long time, well into this season.
Right, got all fired up. I thought, it was going to be great.
Yep.
Point blank, if you're Danny White, you bring her back next year?
Around the room?
Sure.
Silence
is deafening.
No, I really think it's still inconclusive for me, only because we need to see what happens. Like, again, all the scuttle about all these players leaving. If that all happens, then I've got a different point of view, because then it's like, why wouldn't you just start over?
Yeah.
If she can retain some of these folks, it feels like a big ask right now. And if Olivia Edwards still stays in the fold.
If you had the Paldo twins, your gal, Jada Civil, and Olivia Edwards, and that was your core, and you can. I would feel good about that if you had those 4, and then you add some transfers and whoever else you have in the freshman class coming in. I would be up for it, but if the Paldo twins leave, and then I'm really interested to see what happens with Olivia Edwards. I mean, is she locked in? I assume she's signed a letter of intent.
That's what, Ryan just said she signed. And, again, she's got the ties she's kind of like Tristan Keys. She's kind of an Adidas athlete. And, then there's the ties with Candace Parker.
We're not the only Adidas school.
Yeah.
You have the director of women's basketball competition for Adidas is Candace Parker.
Yeah, but if again, let's put the parenting hat on. If this is your daughter and she's the best player in the country, and okay, she's got a contract with Adidas, but her development is my biggest concern as a parent. I'm not sending her to a dysfunctional program.
Yeah,
that's why I'd probably go ahead and let her go, man. Honest to God. And like Bob said, I really don't think most of these kinds of situations, like usually it's 50-50, some percentage of blame. There's plenty of blame to go around to everybody. But, part of me feels bad because I think it sounds like she might have had a couple of spots of cancer on her team. It sounds like it might have metastasized.
Yeah, but who brought them in?
That's at the end of the day.
I don't know, man. It's
like if I get skin cancer and I sit out sunning myself all day long with no sunscreen, that's kind of on me.
It's an interesting analogy.
And if you drink and you continue to drink until you're getting cirrhosis.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is these analogies too dark for you? All right, so Bob is kicking the can. He wants to see what happens after the season. Your Bears axing her.
I'm probably axing her. My problem is I don't have all the we don't have all the information Danny does.
When has that ever stopped you from levying an opinion?
I think what the part that's very interesting is what Sylvia said was now they sit and wait for a couple weeks almost.
Yeah,
like
what's the
nobody
mood going to be like over there?
I don't know.
They ain't beating nobody in that tournament.
But my point is, I don't think we're done here. I think we're probably, what are we going to hear about Talaysia Cooper here pretty soon? Is she done? Is she coming back? We have no idea.
More bad headlines potentially on the way.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of, to me, it's still inconclusive, but man, it looks like it is a very deep hole to dig out of at a minimum.
The other thing that Sylvia said that really caught my ear, and I immediately remembered when he compared it to 2010s and then the Butch, where it was like when it starts being something new, some kind of new problem every single day that we're talking about.
Yeah.
The writing's on the wall at that point. Let's go ahead and pull the Band-Aid off. Walker, what do you think? Bring her back? Keep her?
I would probably bring her back still, just because, I still don't know how much of this is her fault and how much of it isn't. Like, she told us point blank a month ago, this team is quitting. So how much of that is on her and how much of that is on the players she recruited? Maybe it is all roster construction and it's fixable by just getting a new roster next year, like we saw her have a different roster a year ago and make the Sweet 16.
Our boy TB had a great point on his show earlier when he was talking about Barnes and all this Lady Vols stuff. Barnes would win 5 games and lose the rest and have guys that were bought into his system and doing what he wanted them to do.
Yeah, I got
problems around.
The Barnes excuse me, the Barnes comparison is interesting. I've got some more thoughts on that coming up here after the break. Quick timeout, 865-966-3435. You want to chime in this afternoon. The poll's in the field.
You put a poll in?
Are we bringing her back? Yay or nay? We'll take the pulse of the people this afternoon. It's Fan Run Radio. Back with more right after this.
The Drive. Miss any of your favorite Fan Run show? Listen to the podcast on our free Fan Run Radio app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
What kind of day is it? It's a White Claw day. Grab a pack, grab your friends. Everything else in life can wait. Your friends shouldn't. Let's go. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Barley's has live music on weekends, general team trivia on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m., and now live sports trivia courtesy of the Knoxville Trivia Guys every Thursday night upstairs. The game starts at 7 p.m. and is free to play for everyone, so head on down to the Old City and show off your sports knowledge and win gift cards to Barley's. Use those gift cards to buy some delicious food and drinks, and you can take it all in with their wide selection of TVs and indoor projectors. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
We really need to get some branded stuff. Shirts, hats, promo items, something professional.
I mean, we could just find a website and order a bunch of it ourselves.
You could, but you're taking a big risk. You don't know the quality, the fit, the timeline. It's a roll of the dice.
Yeah, I guess, but isn't that how everyone does it now?
Not the ones who actually care about how their brand looks. Look, if we're putting our name on it, it needs to be done right. We need SM Athletics.
SM Athletics?
Yeah, they specialize in working with businesses like ours. Apparel, hats, promo gear, but real, customized stuff. They actually care if it turns out right.
Probably a lot better than getting stuck with 100 t-shirts with crooked logos.
Exactly. Plus, they'll walk you through everything. Sizing, colors, material, so it matches the image we're trying to build.
Makes sense. What's the name again?
SM Athletics. Trust me, if you want to look like a real company, not a flea market stand, this is the move. If you're serious about your brand, work with people who are serious about getting it right. SM Athletics.
Vol fans, reimagine your home at Broadway Carpets and Flooring for any remodeling or building needs. With a variety of carpets, rugs, hardwood, vinyl, and stone, Broadway has all the flooring and installation options you're looking for, including pet-resistant products like Pet Perfect Carpet from Shaw Floors. Visit their showroom in downtown Knoxville or the location in West Knoxville located on Kingston Pike near Pellissippi Parkway today.
Your smile says it all, so make sure it's saying the right thing. At Knoxville Smiles, we believe healthy teeth mean happy lives. Invisalign is a clear aligner orthodontic treatment that gradually straightens teeth without the use of traditional metal braces. And now, at Knoxville Smiles, we're offering Invisalign special pricing for new patients. Call for details at 865-539-1776 or just visit us at knoxvillesmiles.com. Don't wait another day to love your smile. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Fan Run Radio, the drive continues. 865-966-3435, your phone number. Get on the show this afternoon, 966-3435. You can call or text the program this afternoon. You know, Lady Vols lose to Alabama yesterday. The men's team lost to Alabama on Saturday. And I know it's apples and oranges. You're comparing the men's game to the women's game, and a veteran established coach in Rick Barnes to a new coach in Kim Caldwell. But the fallout from those losses could not be more different, right? You're walking out of Thompson Bowling Arena, you're disappointed. The players are disappointed. They go to the locker room, they change, and we're on to the next ball game. Yeah. Which, by the way, they went on the road and won without Nate Amon.
Yeah.
Contrast that with the way the Lady Vols lose to Alabama, and you've got drama on the court, the player cursing out her coach on the sideline. You've got the player leaving or being sent away from the locker room. Who knows? You've got a coach up there who not only doesn't look like she has the answers, I don't know that she knows what the questions are. I said a couple of times now, Bob, like if you're Kim Caldwell, you've got Rick Barnes. And by the way, her husband is on Rick Barnes' staff now. He's one of Barnes' staffers. So you can walk across the hall and, Coach Barnes better than I do, Bob. I don't know that he would unsolicited give Kim Caldwell advice, but I can't imagine that if she asked for an audience with Coach Barnes that he wouldn't try to help her. She looks like she needs help.
He would, he would absolutely help her. I don't know if she's asked. She should ask. She should ask.
I mean, people want to talk about the system. System. I don't think it's about it's the culture.
Yeah,
that's broken for her. And what better person to ask about a culture than Rick Barnes?
Yeah, I think when you dissect this, look, I said it earlier in the week, these players, after I watched that whole senior day ceremony, it just underscored what I've felt all along. It's just a bunch of hired guns, right? It's mostly about
There's
the money.
no real personal connection between them.
But here's the thing. I mean, I think you're right about this. I think that, so it's human nature sometimes for athletes in particular, and if there's a star quotient to those athletes, they get their money, but then maybe they might become disillusioned with something else. I've seen it a lot of times where people get bigger and they get more of what they want and they become more difficult. And my point here is that might be where the system has failed, Kim, because some of these players might be like, man, I don't like this going in for 2 minutes and coming out for 2 minutes. I want the ball in my hand. And they start acting out the way they play.
Yeah.
Even though they got their money, because that's been checked off the list. Now it's the next thing. And so I think that's a lot for her to handle. And you're right, the system becomes kind of secondary, but I do think the system has a role in all of this too.
Yeah, I agree. I just think you can win basketball games a bunch of different ways. I mean, John Wooden won playing fast break basketball back in the day. Sure. You've had teams win playing slow down. Dean Smith won playing slow down ball. And there's ebbs and flows to it. You can win all sorts of different ways, but man, if you've got players that don't respect the coach, you can't win like that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that's ever worked. All right, 865-966-3435, your phone number. If you want to get on the show here this afternoon, let's get a call from Jason in Georgia. Good afternoon, Jason. You're on the drive.
Hey, Russ. How you doing, buddy?
Doing well. How are you, sir?
Good, man. Hey, I think this comes down to what we've talked about a couple times. It comes down to those three little words: vision, alignment, and execution. And this is her second year, and she's still trying to create a culture, right? But you create a culture by clearly communicating roles, responsibilities, desired outcomes, expectations, and then you maintain that culture by being willing to hold those people accountable to those roles, responsibilities, and expectations. And a culture is maintained by what you allow, what you emphasize, and what you consistently do every day. And it seems to me that she has bypassed alignment and tried to shortcut to execution by getting what Bob said, these hired guns who are fairly elite basketball players, but she's bypassed the alignment piece. And that's what's being played out right now.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I hate to keep going back to Rick Barnes, but his first 2 years here weren't a picnic in terms of wins and losses. But he built it up. And look, this is such again, it's apples and oranges for a variety of reasons, not the least of which is with the transfer portal and the money the way it is. That's something that even Rick Barnes wasn't dealing with in 2017 when he first got here. And, I don't know that you can bring in a Grant Williams and run him to death for 2 years and then boom, he's player of the year. I don't know if these girls are going to stick around that long, but I think you're right in your assessment, Jason, in that she skipped a couple of important steps in program building.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and if you don't have a compelling vision, if you don't have a solid mission, and if you don't have core values clearly defined, then you can't go out and recruit players to those. You can go out and get whoever you want to. You can go throw money at whoever you want to, but you're dealing with 18 to 22-year-old kids whose prefrontal cortex is not fully formed and developed yet. And they're getting all kind of money. And to Bob's point, hey, I'm not getting the ball the way I thought and the way I wanted to, and this isn't what I signed up for. And there's so many variables here, but it has to start with finding, recruiting, and retaining the best people that fit what it is you want to do. And if she can get clarity around that, then I think she's salvageable and can turn this thing around. Yeah. But she's going to have to clean house first. There's no doubt about it.
Maybe all the players leaving is not necessarily a bad thing. Thank you, Jason. Really appreciate the phone call.
That's a good call.
Like, yeah, I mean, if maybe this is a blessing in disguise. And I'm being very hopeful here in glass half full. I don't know. But the hope here, if you bring her back, is, all right, she made some big mistakes in terms of how she built this roster. And as Jason said, communicated her vision to the players on it. You got a do-over. You got a mulligan here.
What's she going to do differently to make sure this doesn't happen again?
Well, do her homework and not take character risks. Bring in players that are going to be 100% bought in and willing to roll through some punches and absolutely know what they're getting into. The problem, Bob, is if she cleans house and it's almost a completely new roster, can that take root in 1 year? Because that's probably all she's going to have.
I don't know. I mean, it's possible. It's more possible in basketball, men's or women's, than it would be like in a sport like football. Real quick, because I know we're coming up on a break. Someone from the 815, I thought this was kind of funny, on the text box said, how quickly we went from calling her Kimmy Hundo and Coach K to this moment. The collapse of the Roman Empire was very similar to the collapse of this team. Rome fell because their hired soldiers only cared about money and not the empire. It's not bad. Not bad. It's kind of apropos.
476 AD here.
Yeah.
Lady Vol Empire in shambles.
Burning.
Stay with us. Hour number 2 of the drive coming up. We got Tennessee baseball here in about 3 hours. First pitch at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. What I wouldn't give to be sipping a cold beer and shorts and a T-shirt out there watching a little baseball tonight. Oh, man, if you got tickets, you are a lucky son of a gun. We'll get into it with Logan Quinton. Top 4 at 4 coming up. It's Fan Run Radio. Stay with us.
The Drive. The voluntary reaction. As soon as the UT game is over, tune in to Fan Run Radio's post-game free-for-all, featuring instant analysis from your favorite Fan Run Radio hosts and your phone calls. All the joy, all the rage, all the passion. Win or lose, it's must-hear radio. The voluntary reaction. Raw, unfiltered, real.
A brand built in Tennessee and born from the love of the game. Inward Half revolutionizes golfing comfort. Crafted by a former pro and dedicated enthusiast just like you, our luxury performance wear guarantees you stay cool and comfortable through every swing and every day. We're not just a brand. We've set out to create a lifestyle for those who understand that impeccable style and premium performance are a hole-in-one. Enjoy the walk-in with Inward Half.
Smoky Mountain Brewery is the place to be for game day. From the moment you walk in, it's wall-to-wall big screens, making Smoky Mountain Brewery the perfect place to watch the Vols or your favorite team in action. With locations in Turkey Creek, Maryville, Pigeon Forge, and Gatlinburg, you're never far away from a great time at Smoky Mountain Brewery. Try one of their world-famous microbrews like Black Bear Ale, Mountain Light, or Cherokee Ale. Juicy burgers, wings that bring the heat, and delicious handmade pizzas made with hand-tossed crust from the freshest ingredients and their own special sauce from a secret recipe, topped off with hand-grated cheese and farm-fresh toppings. And don't forget, those famous microbrews are also available in kegs for your next party or in 6-packs and growlers to go. So grab your crew and head to Smoky Mountain Brewery and tell them Fan Run Radio sent you. Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good.
Hey Vols fans, Cody Brown here. I grew up right here in Tennessee and know what it means when someone says, I've got your back. That's why you can trust Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee. Whether it's your home, your vehicle, your family's future, or the business you built from the ground up, we will show up for all of your insurance needs. We are Tennesseans who understand what matters, which is doing right by you. Insurance is not all about just paperwork and policies, but it's about the people we insure every day. So if you want insurance that hits home, give me a call at 865-992-3871. Go Vols.
Welcome to Axle Logistics, where excellence isn't just a goal, it's an energy. As a leading third-party logistics company, Axle is powered by an award-winning culture built on a work hard, play hard mentality. Here, the drive for success is contagious and hard work never goes unnoticed. Whether you're just starting out or looking to level up, Axle Logistics is the place to launch your career. Join us and take your ambition to the stars. To learn more, visit axlelogistics.com.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Your smile is one of the first things people notice, so why not make it unforgettable? At Knoxville Smiles, we believe everyone deserves a smile they're proud to show off, whether it's time for a routine checkup, a professional cleaning, or something more advanced like teeth whitening or veneers. Our expert team is here for you. We use the latest technology to provide the highest quality care in a comfortable, friendly environment. At Knoxville Smiles, we don't just treat teeth, we treat people. Our goal is to make every visit as stress-free and pleasant as possible. So if you've been putting off your next dental visit, now's the perfect time to take the next step towards a healthier, brighter smile. Give us a call at 865-539-1776 to schedule your appointment. That's 865-539-1776. Or visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
It's time for the Drive's Top 4 at 4.
Hour number 2 of The Drive underway on Fan Run Radio. I'm Russell Smith. Thanks for tuning into the show this afternoon. It's time for a quick look around the world of sports. Today's Top 4 at 4 brought to you by Smoky Mountain Brewery in Turkey Creek, where we'll be Tuesday. Next week, would love to see you out there. Walker Smith, what you got?
At number 1, we are less than 24 hours away from the final home game of the 2026 basketball season as number 23 Tennessee gets set to play in-state rival number 24 Vanderbilt at Thompson Bowling Arena. Rick Barnes said earlier today that he doesn't know if freshman Nate Ament will play against the Commodores yet. Tip-off is at 2 p.m. on ESPN, and the Vols are 4.5-point favorites.
Bob, you think Nate's going to play?
I think he'll play. I do. I mean, there's nothing I know. That's just
gut feeling.
Yeah, I think he wants to play, man. He's like we heard from Coach Polinsky yesterday, man. He's so all in on this program, and this could be it. This could be the last home game for him. So now I'm not saying he may play, and it might be 15 minutes or something like that. But I think he plays.
That's what I was wondering. Maybe it'd just be maybe 5 minutes a half, but
Barnes might have a little trepidation about putting him out there, but I think if the kid really wants to play and he's moving around, like people we know have seen him say, he's not wearing a walking boot. He's walking without a limp.
Right.
Like if he wants to get out there and play, I say you give him the start, you play him, you see how it goes. And, maybe you taper his minutes down a little bit. But we also know Rick Barnes, if it's a close game against Vanderbilt in the second half, he's not going to be too worried about health.
Probably not.
Well, I would only go to say about that is, obviously we know Rick Barnes pulls all the strings, but the way he's painted the picture is that whether or not Nate Ament plays depends on what the doctors say, and he trusts their opinion.
Yeah, I don't mean to make it sound like he'll be like, the hell with what the doctors say. We got to beat Vandy. He will take care of his player, but he is nothing if not a fierce competitor. And so is Nate. So it'll be really interesting to see how much Ament plays, if at all, tomorrow.
100%. At number 2, Tennessee baseball's last weekend series before conference play starts today against Wright State at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. Josh Elander has named an unchanged weekend starting rotation, with Tegan Coons going tonight, Landon Mack tomorrow, and Evan Blanco on Sunday. First pitch today is at 6 p.m., tomorrow at 3 p.m., and Sunday at 1.
Yeah, they moved up tomorrow's game to 3 p.m. because of
rain,
the inclement weather. The lineup is out for tonight.
Want to go through it?
I think we should.
Might as well.
Abernathy leading off, playing second.
Keeping him in the infield for the weekend series. Okay.
Well, for today anyway. Henry Ford's hitting second, playing third. Blaine Brown hitting third, playing left.
Okay.
Blake Grimmer in the cleanup spot as the DH today. Stone Lawless back behind the plate, as Josh Elander said he would be here on the drive yesterday, hitting fifth. Reese Chapman playing right, hitting sixth. Hitting 7th, playing first base, Levi Clark gets the start.
Okay, he's back in.
Hitting 8th, playing center field, Garrett Wright.
Okay.
Back in the lineup. And hitting 9th, playing
Shortstop.
Antigua.
Antigua's still getting okay. I don't hate that he's letting Antigua have a chance to redeem himself before.
Well, he did
conference
homer
play.
his last time up. So,
Yeah.
And that was a bomb, by the way.
He
too.
got every stitch of it.
Yeah.
I like it. The only head scratcher to me is Chris Newstrom has been on a tear of late, but I feel like Elander is a big Levi Clark guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that would be the switch. Or Stone Lawless, you could catch Levi Clark and play Newstrom at first. I mean, that's the only, I'm not even going to call it a head scratcher. I'm not going to argue with Josh on this one quite yet, but we'll see how it goes. First pitch again coming up 2.5 hours at Lindsey Nelson Stadium.
At number 3, former Michigan football coach Sharon Moore agreed to a plea deal today that resulted in him pleading no contest to 2 misdemeanor charges in exchange for the dropping of a previous felony count and 2 separate misdemeanors. The plea agreement centers on Moore's actions December 10th following the sudden firing as a Michigan coach. The university dismissed Moore that day for having an inappropriate relationship with a staff member.
Oh, what a nut. How do you leave a program like Michigan football in the hands of that dude?
That's a great question.
I mean, he must have really had Ward Manuel, the AD, up there snowed.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. I mean, he was on the hook for a felony, and by this count, at least 4 misdemeanors, and he was able to plea it down to only 2 misdemeanors without the felony.
I don't know. When I watch some of those selection committee shows with Ward Manuel in charge.
Oh, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it's like it kind of tracks, honestly.
If they do anything, they've got to get the athletic directors out of those rooms.
Yeah, I know.
That's just
put it back in the hands of journalists.
No.
Who do you put it in the hands of then?
Our computer overlords. Go back to the BCS mainly.
Ugh, that'd be something. And at number 4, Team USA's World Baseball Classic begins tonight as America takes on Brazil at 8 p.m. on Fox. The tournament started 2 nights ago, but these will be the first games played in the United States, with other sites including Japan and the Dominican Republic.
First of all, are we into this World Baseball Classic? We doing this? I know you're into it.
I haven't started. I think I will get into it here maybe over the weekend, but
okay.
Yeah, so far not there yet.
Who's who plays baseball for Brazil?
Oh, no one good. I think
good.
we're 9.5 run
We'll
favorites.
smash them.
Some stupid.
So who
number.
are the big players besides us?
It's really 3
Japan.
teams. It's Japan, America, and the Dominican Republic. Those are pretty much the 3 that can win it.
Is Venezuela?
Venezuela's in it, but I mean, I don't
Not
think
Puerto Rico.
Well, Puerto Rico would have been the 4th on that list, but
Wait a
they
minute, they're
had
part of America.
Colombia.
no. They would have had. They had their own team, but the Puerto Rico team had problems ensuring their players that played in the MLB. So a lot of their best players didn't want to play. But no, it's the DR, Japan, and the United States.
Do the Brazilian players, or is it like soccer, or is it like just a bunch of one-name guys? Is it Ronaldinho and Willian and Ronaldo?
No, it's a couple.
Hulk?
A couple of guys. Oh, one. I think one guy that's on it is it's like Bo Bichette's brother.
Pele?
Something like that. Like, with the World Baseball Classic,
they have, like,
it's all about, like,
your grandmother was from
distant
Brazil.
ways
Yeah.
to get on the team just so you can play in the World Baseball Classic.
That's what we were talking about, the Netherlands,
Yep.
like Jair Jurgens and Andrew Jones and all those guys.
Yep.
What about Canada? Are they any good?
I don't know if they have a team
Really?
in this. I'm sure. I mean,
I know they have a team because they were in it a couple of years ago because they were in one of the – I saw a John Boy breakdown of a fight between Canada and
Let me get the
maybe
full-
Mexico.
Let me get the full
a
group.
couple years
Canada,
ago.
From the hockey
Okay, yeah,
background, would be
they
pretty
do.
good at
They do.
baseball fighting.
They do. They're actually there are 20 teams in this tournament.
Great Britain's out there playing right now.
Yep.
They have the worst baseball uniforms of all time.
That's a strike,
really?
isn't it?
They're in our group, so
You
we're
know
going to
what I
play
mean.
them. Yeah, no, there are some other ones. I know that Korea's going to have a good team, and obviously Venezuela's really good too. But
So who's the
those are the
favorite to
ones.
win it?
It's pretty much
Japan.
split between the U.S. and Japan and the Dominican Republic. They're all within plus 100 or plus 200 of each other.
Thank you, Walker. That is the top four at four. It's brought to you by Smoky Mountain Brewery. We are really excited to be back out there on Tuesday next week and hope you'll come down and see us as we'll have a lot to talk about with the SEC tournament coming up and Tennessee baseball beginning conference play next week at Georgia. Should be an exciting week here on Fan Run Radio. A couple of things to clean up. I do want to give credit to Mike Wilson because the UT had not put that lineup out yet. So give credit where credit's due on his reporting there over at VolQuest. And then Bishop Boswell, I don't know if you guys saw this, not at practice today with an illness.
Oh.
So that could be a situation that bears watching tomorrow.
He's a tough kid. Hopefully he can power through.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just you wonder if it's going to be a deal where he's not a, he's still kind of tired and weak.
Not 100%.
There's something nasty still going around town, apparently.
Jordan flu game incoming or hangover game?
Okay, do we really think Jordan had the flu, or was he just epically hungover the way some people think?
I think it was the pizza thing, right?
Oh, the food poisoning?
Yeah, I think
Food
he had some bad pizza the night before, whether it was on purpose or accident.
Should have killed him. That's the only way to hold that guy down.
You're advertising the murder of Michael Jordan?
No, I just said if they were wanting to hold him down,
they should have.
Food poisoning wasn't going to do it with MJ.
What would you have recommended?
I wouldn't have recommended anything.
You said they should have killed him.
A hitman.
If you're planning on, if you've got some kind of big money riding on Michael Jordan not performing, the only way to guarantee it would be if he was dead.
You know, they made a movie about this. It's called Celtic Pride with Daniel Stern.
Never saw it.
Damon Wayans.
Sounds like a.
Did you ever see that, Bob?
No, I never.
You never saw it?
No.
Oh, it was a terrible movie.
Sounds like it.
It's awful.
But it was about Daniel Stern, and I can't remember who the other guy was. They're like rabid Boston Celtics fans. And Damon Wayans is the star player for the Utah Jazz. And they just can't bear the thought of their beloved Celtics losing. So they hitch a plot to kidnap
their best player,
Damon Wayans of the Jazz. And they do. They end up, but they're just bumbling idiots. And I can't remember how it ends up, but it was.
Yeah, that's why you had the Photoshop made of me and you kidnapping.
Oh, yeah. That was from that movie.
Yeah, the Peyton Curse. Yeah. I'd never seen the whole movie. Anyhow.
I think I went to it. It was really bad.
Hungover flu or the mob, poisoned his pizza. It didn't work.
No, it didn't.
What do you have, like 38 that night?
I forgot.
He looked miserable. I mean, he definitely looked sick.
Yeah. Let's get Matty Ice in here next. Matt, you're on the drive. It's Fan Run Radio.
Hey, happy Friday, boys.
Yes,
happy
sir.
Friday.
Thank you.
Really good call from Jason there. I kind of want to take it a step further, and I kind of have a thought, and then I'm going to ask a question. I'll hang up and listen. But I wonder at what point does Danny White start to kind of look in the mirror and kind of look at how he evaluates and just brings in new coaches? Because when I look at Josh Heupel, when I look at Kim Caldwell, they look at really good coaches on paper at first, but I just wonder at what point, and this is kind of what scares me, Bob, is when the day Rick Barnes retires, both of those coaches I talked about, we wanted to see them succeed, but they just seem to lack a level of attention to detail, whether it be in the football program with the penalties and the clock management. And to this season, it's the gelling and the locker room issues. I just wonder at what point, when that time comes, like when Danny White will start to evaluate how he looks at what he looks for in a coach. Mm-hmm. And it leads me to this question, guys, as we go into year 6 under Josh Heupel and next season with Kim Caldwell likely to return, who has more to prove? I mean, the easy answer is football, but I also wonder at what point can you also make an argument for the Lady Vols as well? And I'll hang up with that thought. Take care, boys.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting question now that I'm thinking about it, because think about some of the like preeminent coaches in sports right now, they're all forces of nature. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like it's very interesting, and ours are not. Tony was, but
yeah, and that wasn't a Danny hire.
Yeah,
but I think that Danny wants to get his track record is entertainment value. I want high-powered offense, that's going to put fannies in the seats and everybody's going to ooh and ah and everything like that. But to your point, Bob, like I would add, they're just really, and what Matty Ice was saying, attention to detail people, super conscientious. Nothing gets by them. Oh, we've got a little problem here with penalties. We've got a little turnover issue on our basketball team or baseball team. We keep walking people. We're not going to let that slide. We're not going to hope it gets better or damn it, we are going to roll up our sleeves and fix it now. Mm-hmm. And if the assistant coach who's in charge of it doesn't do it, he's gone. I'm going to fire him and get somebody in here who's going to do it. It's my responsibility, and I'm going to fix it now. I'm not going to wait. I'm going to have an uncomfortable confrontation if that's what it takes. We're not all, I'm not here to be anybody's friend. And that seems to be the common thread with the great coaches that I see across sports.
Yeah, I would combine it. I would just what you said, like I said a second ago, like if you think like, let's take college football for a second. Who are the first like three prominent names that come to mind for you in college football as head coaches right now?
Saban, Kirby,
currently coaching.
Kirby, Cignetti.
I'd say Kirby, Cignetti, and I hate to say it, I'd say Kiffin. And I'm not sure, but I'm not sure in that case that Kiffin's an attention to detail guy, but he's a force of nature. Cignetti, on the other hand, Kirby Smart, on the other hand, I think they are. Now, Kirby's not apparently outside of the locker room and on the field, all the stuff that's
willing to overlook a few things.
But Cignetti, we've heard these stories. You see it on the field. He's smug and everything else, but he's obviously a hell of a coach. And he is never, ever satisfied, which was kind of how Saban was too.
And those people are so hard to find in any walk of life, man. I mean, like most, I know, just thinking about myself, I'll let a thing slide here or there. I think most people do. So like it gets back to the old Mike Hamilton quote about hiring a football coach is an art, not a science. If there was a book about how to do it, everybody would get it right all the time. But most people don't get it right, and I don't think that's because they're bad at making the hires. I think that's because there is a limited supply of really conscientious people who are just completely consumed with what they do and are not willing to accept anything but the best.
So not necessarily a force of nature in this case, but who do we think in our coaching staff has got that part buttoned up right now?
Barnes is really the only one.
I think it's only Barnes, right? I mean, maybe Elander, time will tell, but it's a really interesting question by Matt. That's
Tony did.
I put Tony more in the Kiffin category.
Exactly.
The force of nature thing, where he's just like such a winner. But I mean, Tony had
starting
an
that
issue
game
here there
against Auburn last year.
Well, yeah, I mean, like that, and even
give me back my bat.
It's like
we've talked about his.
Yeah, we didn't hold runners on.
Yeah.
We couldn't throw runners out. Like just whatever. I mean, there were a couple, but he made up for it. There was so much swagger, and we hit the hell out of the ball and threw the hell out of the ball so good that it covered up whatever other problems we might have overlooked.
Right. Yeah, it's really interesting.
Well, I mean, how many coaches have we had? I guess Pat Summitt's obviously.
Yes. Fulmer in his heyday was like that. He wasn't able to sustain it, but in the late 90s, Philip Fulmer was a force of nature and an attention to detail guy.
Now, a guy who was, it appears at least, was an attention to detail guy was Dooley, right? But to a fault, and it just was like it was not good.
He wasn't a very good leader, though.
No, that's true.
People wouldn't follow him across the street if they were giving away $1,000 bills.
Well, and I don't want to compare Kim to Dooley.
No.
But
Sylvia went there.
I think that there's some of that where she's obviously not afraid of confrontation and having uncomfortable, conversations, and like she wants what she wants, but there is a disconnect there between the players receiving that message and getting out there and doing it.
One more thing while we're on Kim, I know we got a break coming, but the one thing we didn't talk about with Sylvia is Gabe Lazo is one of her top assistants, and the rumors are out there that he's probably getting groomed to be a head coach somewhere. And I was watching that senior day game again, and the players flocked to him, man. They like that.
He's the good cop.
Yeah, he is. And you can tell he's got a rapport with them, you know? Like all those seniors that were getting patted on the shoulder, he was hugging it out with them and everything else. And yeah, so he's a good cop. My point is, that's another key piece to this, man. If he happens to bolt and Kim's extended to stay another year, that's another challenge for her.
All right, coming up, the Cookie Man, Logan Quinton, joins to talk a little Tennessee baseball as the Volunteers get set to take on Wright State. The Raiders back in town for the first time since Drew Gilbert
crushed them.
Had a legendary moment in not just Tennessee baseball history, but Tennessee athletics history. We'll talk about it when we continue with Cookie Man coming up next right here on Fan Run Radio.
The Drive. Can't get enough Fan Run Radio? Download the free Fan Run app and take the best Tennessee sports conversations with you wherever you go.
Rickard Ridge Barbecue. It's more than just dinner, it's a destination. Hey, this is Russell Smith, and whenever somebody asks me for a barbecue recommendation, I always tell them to take the quick drive up I-75 and visit Rickard Ridge Barbecue. Rickard Ridge is about a 20-minute drive up I-75 from downtown Knoxville. Just take exit 134 in Caryville, hang a right, and Rickard Ridge is tucked just inside Cove Lake State Park on your left. You can't miss it. Fall off the bone Memphis-style baby back ribs, slow-smoked chicken thighs, fresh, juicy, hand-cut steaks. Rickard Ridge has it all. And this ain't no Yankee chain store fly-by-night operation either. Owner Mark Rickard has spent years honing his smoking skills in Memphis, and his secret recipe and techniques have been driving East Tennessee wild for years. So make time to check him out. Rickard Ridge Barbecue inside Cove Lake State Park and online at rickardridgebbq.com.
Blackford Veterinary Surgery Referral specializes in surgeries not regularly performed by your pet's general veterinarian. They're currently accepting referrals from vets all across the country. With their newly renovated state-of-the-art surgery center and highly trained staff, clients can rely on professional and thorough care. If your vet says that your pet needs surgery or rehab, ask for a referral to Blackford Vet and let them get your best friend back on its feet. Located conveniently in West Knoxville. For more information, visit blackfordvetsurgery.com.
What's up, Fan Run Nation? This is Evan Rogers with ECR Total Landscapes. We're excited to continue our free stump grinding promotion with Fan Run Radio this year through March 31st. If you've got problem trees in your yard, give us a call and we'll come out and cut them down and grind the stumps for free when you mention you heard us right here on Fan Run Radio. Take it from Russ. We'll treat you right at ECR Total Landscapes.
That's right, Evan. I had the ECR team out to Stately Smith Manor last year, and they took down a bunch of trees for me and grinded the stumps for free. Now I don't have to worry about those trees falling on my house, and my yard looks much better. Do what I did. Call ECR Total Landscapes.
Thanks, Russ. Call us today and we'll come out and give you a free estimate. Our number is 865-384-2012 and our website is ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Running a business, coaching a team, planning your next big event, you need more than just gear. You need SM Athletics and Logo Solutions. Custom uniforms, branded apparel, promotional products, done right, done fast, and built to show off your brand with pride. From local businesses to high schools to major universities, SM Athletics is trusted by winners. Get real service, get real quality, get noticed. SM Athletics and Logo Solutions, where your brand comes to life.
Visit smathletics.com and let's build something great together.
Tennessee going to those beautiful white uniforms, the orange power tee on the chest today. Beautiful weather tonight. We might break that attendance record this weekend if this weather cooperates. Might break it tonight.
I really think we might.
Was it
kind of
we're up to
jealous.
8,000 capacity there now?
I believe so.
And I think the record we set a couple weeks back was like 6,700 or something like that.
Yeah, we should smash
That's what I
that
heard
tonight.
I get 7,000 people over there tonight. Logan Quinton, the Cookie Man here. His appearance is always brought to you by Crumble Cookies. We'll tell you about the menu there this weekend coming up here in just a little bit. LQ, good afternoon. How are you, sir?
I tell you what, Russ, it's a beautiful day to be at the ballpark. And if it weren't for the boys being at home this week, I think it'd be opening day at the shores of Quinton Manor. But I'm ecstatic to be going to the ballpark on this fine evening.
No doubt about it.
Had to rub it in, didn't you, Logan?
Well, he's not going to be out there in the grandstands drinking a cold beer. He's going to be up in the clinical environment of the press box, hard at work. You keep score. You're a scorekeeper, aren't you, Logan?
No, not for
Okay.
not media wise.
Okay.
Otherwise, if I'm just at the ballpark, it kind of depends if the family's coming along or whatever. But there's a once or twice a year keeping score. Got to keep the pen handy.
You'll take the score. You got the scorebook and all that.
Not with me, not normally, but sometimes I bring it with me.
Logan, very interesting lineup today. I don't know if you've seen it, but we're going to see some changes out there as Josh Elander continues to experiment. And, we talked about it this week. You bring Grimmer and Garrett Wright back into the fold. You already had a situation, Logan, where there were going to be 2 or 3 guys on the bench, right? Every game, they're like, hey, I feel like I ought to be out there in the starting 9. Now you bring those 2 back, you have 3 or 5 guys on the bench, right? And today it's Chris Newstrom, Manny Marin not in there, but terrific opportunity for Antigua at the bottom of the order, Garrett Wright in center, Levi Clark staying at first, Stone Lawless back in there, Blake Grimmer DHing. Your thoughts on the way the lineup rounds out today?
Yeah, one of my biggest questions coming into the weekend, like many other folks, with Wright and Grimmer being back in the mix, was how quickly do they become everyday players, or at least on the weekend? Is it going to be pinch hit situations on Friday and Saturday, and then both of those guys start on Sunday? It's interesting. I heard a bit of what you guys went through there. I'm in transit en route to the park, but yeah, it's, with Abernathy, if you move Abernathy to second, look, I'm not worried about that at all. He's totally, whether it's in the dirt or in center field, he's an up the middle profile. But I'm really excited about what I've seen from Abernathy ranging for balls in center field. And Elander talked about it with you guys yesterday, how he's become an above average defender out there. So there's some hard decisions, not just batting wise, but in the field. So, I kind of lean towards, is there a move you could do with Abernathy going to left if you put Wright in center, but then Brown is going to DH, and how does that affect Grimmer? So it's just all these moves affect one another. And, it's up the middle in the dirt. Like, we know Elander loves the combination of Ariel and Manny defensively, but at some point you got to get the bats hot. And with Wright and Grimmer back in the mix, granted, it's one game against Oakland, right? And they're a rough team. But if those guys are ready to go, I say get them in there, let them go full go. I think with Grimmer, it's going to be more so DH, like that we see early on, just based on the precedent of the back injury, what he's coming off of. I don't think you want him, let's say, in left field or something like that, ranging for balls constantly, kind of keep that at bay. But I'm excited to see how the wheels will turn with Wright and Grimmer back in the mix.
You had Newstrom playing shortstop against Oakland the other day, which I didn't even know that was a possibility. and he's not in the lineup today. I feel like he, and again, not being critical of Josh just yet, these are hard decisions to make. But it's like, man, after what he did in Dallas last weekend, he would be in the lineup for me. Is that a possibility? I mean, we always looked at the shortstop battle as a Marin versus Antigua thing. But again, if you're looking at getting your best bats into the lineup, man, Newstrom at short and Jay Abernathy at second is intriguing.
Yeah, no, I think with Newstrom defensively, it's going to be second, first base, left field, even right field. But I mean, until Chapman proves otherwise, I mean, I can't imagine Newstrom getting a ton of time out there. But that's one weapon you have, one utility you have with Newstrom being able to play so many different positions. I think just trying to get a look there is all that was, and some live reps and a game that matters. But no, I think to answer your question, defensively, if Newstrom's bat is hot and you can't, keep him out of the lineup, I think defensively it's going to be more so the right side of the dirt or DH.
Logan, you kind of answered my first question to you, but Russ and I have been kind of having a personal straw poll on Jay Abernathy. I prefer to see him in the outfield. Russ likes him at second. I think we like him wherever he plays, but it sounds like you're more inclined you'd like for him to be spending time at some position in the outfield.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely center field, I think. And I'm a guy that, I've had my eye on Jay going back to high school, and Elander talked about it with you guys that they impressed the coaching staff with him being at shortstop when he was a prep. I thought the guy was going to stick in the dirt. It doesn't surprise me that he's going on this trajectory in center field. That's just the type of athlete he is. He flashed the arm in left field last season. But based on what we've seen, he's manned center field, done really well there, controlling traffic and saving some runs in the gaps. And I think that he'll continue to see reps in the dirt, but long term, I think just on the trajectory that he's on, I think that's where he may stick long term and even in pro ball.
Talk with Logan Quinton, the Cookie Man, brought to you by Crumble Cookies this afternoon as we preview Tennessee baseball this weekend. Last preseason series before we start SEC play a week from today at Georgia in Athens. And Logan, looking at this Wright State crew coming in this weekend, I believe they're 4-6 coming into this one. Not a great record, but we all remember the last time they were in Lindsey Nelson Stadium. It was really the moment that the Tony Vitello era became the Tony Vitello era when Drew Gilbert hit the walk-off grand slam. Where were you when Drew Gilbert hit the shot heard around Big Orange Country? And where does that rank for you in terms of all-time great, not just Tennessee baseball moments, but Tennessee athletic moments?
I've had this conversation with people, and to answer the first part of your question, I was in the stands behind the first base dugout. It was the section numbers were totally different. None of there was none of the extended, down to the right field pole. I mean, everything was so intimate. And, I can just remember the ping of the bat. And it was like this, a couple of seconds of just drop dead silence. And then, boom, it was just a combustion. And everybody went nuts. And I would almost argue that it's probably the single most important moment in Tennessee baseball history, just because the domino effect, right, of what happened in the years, leading up to 24 and winning it all. And Tony mentioned Drew Gilbert and having those moments, and he's pointed out that moment specifically. Like when that moment happened, then all of a sudden you had artifacts to point to and say to recruits, this could be you. Look with one swing what this did for this program. And it was pandemonium. And what I hated the most, nothing against the game event staff or whatever, but after the chaos, everybody sang Rocky Top in unison. And after that, they made an announcement like, folks, please leave the stadium safely. They started safely, right away, right after Rocky Top cut up. Yeah, and it was the feeling with everybody. You just wanted to hang in that moment and just soak in it. But man, just so memorable.
I remember I was at the beach, Bob, with my whole family, and it was such a frustrating game to watch. Right? I mean, it was just, oh my God, I can't believe we're losing to these guys. And it was a root canal game, and then that inning, it was a slow build. I remember there was a walk. I think, right before Gilbert came up, and it was like, oh man, like we've got a chance here. And it was like 10 o'clock at night or so, and we're at this big family gathering at the beach, right? And we've got old people and babies in the house, and they're all asleep. And it's me and my brothers and our wives are sitting around watching this, and I'm like, me and my brother are like the only one really paying attention. And then he hits that. I remember we just went crazy, started yelling and screaming, like my old mom's coming out the way, like, what's going on? I was like, I mean, you just couldn't like hold it in. It was such a moment, man. It's
such a release.
Oh, it was just awesome. I mean, I put it right up there with like
Alabama
beating
football,
Alabama in 2022 in football. I'm trying to think if there's like a basketball moment that compares.
Lofton's corner three to beat that. Who was that?
To me, Winthrop. I mean, to me, the Gilbert is bigger than that. Because that was a first round game, and we got beat by Wichita State in round two.
I think if you're thinking basketball, Skylar McBee's shot to beat Kansas when they were number 1.
I think it's bigger than that.
Yeah, I do.
In football, it's probably up there with the Sterner fumble.
This is the thing about basketball. We haven't had that moment. Sterner fumble's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah.
That's a really good comp to it.
Logan, one guy I've been watching, and this is something we talked about with Elander. I felt it safe to say this is the most versatile team that Tennessee has had in years. Certainly for the time Elander's been around. But what that also means is you get a lot of competition, but you get some guys who may be kind of odd men out sometimes. And one that I feel like we need to keep an eye on maybe is, I know he's getting some at bats, but Tyler Myatt. Starting to be not showing up in those starting lineups. Do you think that that's a cause for concern, or do we just feel we got enough depth? We shouldn't be too worried about that.
Probably the latter. But I know how, we've become so intrigued with Myatt.
Yeah.
With what he posted at, Walter State, and then the bat carried into this season a little bit, and the walk-off, he made his mark right away. With that walk-off. And, that's another one that's the Blake Grimmer factor, that it affects Myatt as well. So I'll lean towards the latter. I think that somehow, some way, Myatt will find a role to still be able to contribute, and he kind of has that clutch gene, right? So if he's not in the lineup quite enough, I still think that in pinch hit situations, as soon as they target a certain matchup, especially a guy that's going to pump fastballs, that's his specialty. So not too worried about that just yet. But, it's definitely something to monitor, because with Wright and Grimmer back in the mix,
right,
he's definitely he's going to be challenged by that.
Logan Quinton hanging out with us here this afternoon on The Drive. It's Fan Run Radio. Logan, you and I were texting about some of the things we saw this week, and we're talking about, Myatt and Newstrom and some of the guys that Manny Marin that are on the bench today. Where do their opportunities come from? We've got some freshmen who, and we saw a couple of them Wednesday night, and the Tracy kid and Grenlinger. We haven't seen Ethan Moore much yet this year at all, but we've got some freshmen who are just sort of buried on the roster right now, but are big league prospects who are just having to wait their turn right now.
Yeah, you mentioned Tracy there. That's one. He and Grenlinger both are ones that I hope that they can just stay the course, because they can really become phenomenal players for this program. They're definitely exciting prospects. And, it seems like you got so many catchers on the roster now. And with Wright healthy again, we know how they feel about Stone Lawless, and Levi's been catching some when he's not at first. So you just hope Grenlinger doesn't get buried. And then with Tracy, there's a couple of different paths. We saw him start two-way action the other night, and he was phenomenal from the mound. I tell you, at times when he first got to campus, it was hard picking him up. The times that I was at practice and I'm 300 feet away, him and Appenzeller, same type of frame and look from the mound. But I'm telling you, the guy can hit too. I really like what I saw in the box from Tracy. It's a phenomenal athlete with long levers. I'm interested to see how his role is long term. Do they take their lessons learned from Blaine Brown as they're exploring his path as a two-way guy? And how does that affect Tracy? Is he going to be a guy that sticks on the mound and may hit here and there, or is it more like a Blaine Brown type of role long term? But what he did on the mound the other night makes me very intrigued.
We're still not in conference play. That's a week away. It's still relatively early in the season, but we were talking earlier this week with Jack Foster with Rocky Top Insider, and he brought up an interesting point. We've talked about it too, of in the past few years, we've had that guy, that alpha dog who, was kind of the leader of the team. I mean, even last year you had Hunter Ensley, but you also had Liam Doyle, who was just like, he'd go nuclear out there.
Yeah.
And some of it might convey with whoever's leading the team. Elander's a definitely different personality than Tony. Do you see someone that could fit that role with this team? I know Landon Mack's been a little out there, but any thoughts on who you might want to see more from, maybe as a guy who could be that kind of the face of the team from an edge standpoint?
Yeah, you mentioned to start off with pitchers, Mack and Coons seem to, at least early on, kind of have that same type of energy and a little bit of the same personality that you're talking about. That connection and synergy that those two have, they went at it like dogs in terms of competitions of who was going to get the Friday role. And now that the season has started, they're really pulling in the same direction with one another. It's really cool to see that energy that they have when each of them starting and then the other one is not, but the other one is always the first one out, when they're coming off the mound. So, but more importantly, I think what you're getting at is, from the hitter perspective, right? Like who's going to be that Andrew Fisher?
Yeah.
I really love Chapman and Abernathy for what they mean to the clubhouse. But yeah, you need a little sprinkle of that alpha personality that's going to answer the bell and that's also going to fire somebody up. There's been no indication for me that I feel like, this guy is definitely it one way or the other, but I just kind of wonder if maybe a Levi Clark, once he kind of starts feeling himself at the plate, can that type of personality draw out of him? That may be one to watch. Maybe it's Grimmer. This is a dude that, whether small sample regular season play, definitely in practice in the off season, he's come up in clutch moments. Maybe that's a wild card that you can circle, because if he's going to hit, he's going to stay in the lineup, and he's definitely a utility. So maybe he's one to watch.
Logan, outstanding appearance this afternoon on the show. Cannot wait for first pitch here in about 2 hours over at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. I know you guys are going to enjoy the festivities up there. Anything else stand out to you that we need to hit on before we talk cookies?
Man, this Wright State team, like you said, coming into the preseason, I felt like, they kind of feel like a typical Wright State team, but I still scratching my head a little bit with what they had, more so pitching-wise. And on that side of the baseball, it's not been well. It's a 1.7 whip. I do think their lineup will come around at some point. I'm not sure it happens this weekend, but they're hitting 222 as a team. So it's going to be interesting to track the rest of the regular season. They're typically a team out of the horizon that's going to be at the top annually. So I'm real excited to see this weekend rotation, if they can clamp down on a struggling Wright State lineup. They were off. Their midweek game got postponed against Miami of Ohio. So how do the Raiders use that little reset right there? Did they need to get back out there, or are they kind of like just hunkering down and itching to kind of get revenge, so to speak, on the Vols? Because like you said, we all know what happened last time they came to Knoxville.
All right. It'll be an interesting weekend over at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. Logan, crumblecookies.com. I'm on there right now. The strawberry Biscoff cookie. I don't even know what to say. It's a Biscoff packed cookie with melty center, to the crunchy topping finished with strawberry cream cheese frosting blended with house-made jam and a fresh strawberry slice. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now, Logan Quinton?
Tennessee has, in my opinion, has the best rotation. You should be in the most comfortable position with the way the rotation is weekly for you. Feel the same way about Crumble. And you talked about it with the leadoff hitter, the strawberry Biscoff cookie. They've had variations of the Biscoff cookie over the years, and they're mixing it up with this strawberry cream on top. It's phenomenal. If you're going cake variety, if I'm going to mix it up myself a little bit, the cinnamon square is very underrated with all the cake varieties that they put out. But then they got sea salt coffee. If you lean classic, but you want a little spice in there with the sea salt, makes it just over the top. So Crumble, the best rotation weekly in the game for the cookies and all your dessert needs.
I'm just looking at this web page, and now I don't think I can do any more show.
I need it. I need it in my face. I need it in my mouth.
Whoa.
Fan run out of context. Crumble Cookies. Oh, my God. It's fantastic. 3 locations to serve you. Clinton Highway, Parkside Drive out here in Turkey Creek, and, of course, in beautiful Maryville. Tell them Fan Run Radio sent you. Logan, have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
You boys keep it on the track. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Logan.
Logan Quinton getting it done for us this afternoon here on Fan Run Radio. Baseball, basketball. We got a betting line out for Tennessee Vandy tomorrow. Senior day at Thompson Bowling Arena. We'll tell you about it when we continue, plus your phone calls. Coming up next right here on Fan Run Radio.
The Drive. Streaming worldwide at fanrunradio.com and on the free Fan Run app. This is Big Orange Country's sports talk radio superstation. Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Are you ready for the start of a new season? Maybe looking for your team to go on a tournament run? Get game day ready with Crumble. Head on over to your nearest location and pick up 12 pre-selected cookies plus exclusive toppers. When you're looking for dessert options, there's no question about who you should call on. Our listeners already know. Last year, the Dubai chocolate was a home run, along with the brownie batter. Oreo crumb was another crowd favorite. What new flavor will set the standard this season? If you're in the Knoxville area, there are 3 locations ready to serve you. Clinton Highway, Parkside Drive, and Maryville. Download the Crumble app to build your best lineup and vote on the best combos. You can even put your bid in to request a new flavor. Order in the app and slide on over to your nearest location. Tell them Fan Run sent you, and as always, it's for the fans, by the fans. Don't miss the cookies.
White Claw is taking hard seltzer to new heights with White Claw Surge. At 8% alcohol, White Claw Surge is a stronger wave of refreshment that doesn't compromise on taste. Available in 4 bold waves of flavor like ripe blackberry, citrusy blood orange, zesty natural lime, and tart cranberry. Check out your favorite retailer in-store and online for the White Claw Surge Variety 12-pack and 16-ounce single-serve cans. White Claw Surge. Please drink responsibly.
Citizens National Bank.
Life is more fun with a Good Life checking account from Citizens National Bank, offering extra benefits including bank travel. This September, experience the perfect fall getaway on the New England Rails and Sails Tour, or join CNB in October to chase the Northern Lights in Iceland. Get in on the fun by calling 865-429-7935.
Citizens National Bank. Banking never felt so good.
Member FDIC.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jacob Wilco at Knoxville Smiles. Have you ever wanted to improve the look of your smile? We know firsthand what the power of a great smile means to a person's confidence and health. Our team of doctors can provide you with an array of options for helping you achieve your cosmetic goals. From simply moving teeth into a better position, to reversible cosmetic bonding, to full mouth implant-supported dentures. It is our goal to help patients feel good about their appearance while achieving optimal health. Want to learn more? Call us at 865-539-1776 to schedule an evaluation, or visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com.
Back here on the Drive, Fan Run Radio. Russell, Bob, and Bear back with you. Walker Smith, get ready for your top 5 at 5. Sports Update. Coming up here in just a mere matter of moments. 865-966-3435. Your phone number if you want to get on board here this afternoon. 966-3435. Your phone number to call or text the drive today. Let's go through the polls in the field real quick before we get back to the phones. And we'll start with yesterday's, which was a humdinger. Would you be okay with UT being mediocre in basketball and baseball if it meant the Vols would average 10 regular season wins per year in football for the rest of your life? And this one had over 1,000 votes cast. It was, like I said, it was raucous. In
where'd we end?
Well, a virtual tie. 51% of the audience said no.
Certainly not.
They would not make that trade. 49% said yes. They would go ahead and sacrifice basketball and baseball for eternal football gridiron glory.
I'm glad we were able to outvote those folks.
I mean, I guess you were.
But I couldn't decide which one I'd rather have.
Yeah, me neither. The other poll is Lady Vols in crisis this afternoon. Should Tennessee bring Kim Caldwell back? Bear, what do you think the people are saying on this one?
I'm going to go 70-30. Do not bring her back.
Really?
Yeah.
You're close. It's 62-38. Don't bring her back.
I'm in the neighborhood.
I thought people would be more forgiving towards Kim.
No, man.
These people are out on her.
Yeah.
After 2 years?
That's welcome to the big time, baby. This is big time college sports now.
I can't say I'm surprised.
You aren't surprised either?
No.
I mean, what's our yearly budget on women's basketball? Not counting her salary.
They said $5 to $6 million.
I mean, she seems like a really nice person, nice family. I wish her nothing but the best, but this is the University of Tennessee Lady Vols, Russ.
It is the Lady Vol basketball program. And
expectations are a little bit different here.
Is it broken right now, or can she fix it?
I mean, allegedly her best player cussed her on the way to the bench last night.
And then left.
Left
the locker room, and she had a player leave the
program.
I don't know if it's broken, but it is certainly toxic and dysfunctional right now.
One of her better players, she's only been here a year, but she was still the head coach. One of her other really good players, her best big, never made it to the season because of drug and domestic violence.
I mean, when the Ruby Whitehorn saga is a mere footnote to the list of
breaking and entering domestic violence,
yeah,
riding around town dirty, smoking weed.
Riding dirty.
Dirty.
Let's get Chuck in here. Chuck, you're on the drive. It's Fan Run Radio.
I hope we're still talking about Lady Vols. I know y'all were talking about baseball for a while. Talasia Cooper is the mouthpiece for this team. Everybody else in this team is scared to talk to Kim because she's kind of a bully when it comes to the kids and a wimp when it comes to being on the court. But Talasia Cooper will stand up to her, and that's why Talasia Cooper is having the trouble she's having.
You think is this program broken right now, Chuck? Should they bring this gal back, Kim Caldwell?
Hell no. No, absolutely not.
Your athletics director went on local radio this week and said that she has his full support.
She does have his full support, but she doesn't have the people who count outside of him's full support. I've been monitoring the Lady Vols for 12 years, active behind the scenes, and the Vol Nation, which is a major fan forum for the Lady Vols, is well into this 80-20, not this 62-38.
You're talking about the Vol Nation message board?
Yes, sir.
And they're 80% get rid of Kim Caldwell. I mean, Barry, these are your people. The message board people are 80-20. Our people are just 60-40.
That's why I said 70-30. I was splitting the difference.
The thing is, I'm behind the scenes. I'm not a employee. I work behind the scenes in other ways.
So you say that the players have lost confidence and faith in their coach.
She will lose 10 or more players.
10
after the end of the season.
Double-digit players are going to walk out after this season?
Right now, I know of 4 that are absolutely going to look at the transfer portal, 5 that are graduating, and a couple that are on the fence.
So how many would be left?
2.
2 players would be left?
Right now, there are only 2 players that I'm unsure of.
I'd guess Lauren Hurst is one of them.
She's kind of one of them, and I can't think of the other one right now because I don't have the roster in front of me. But she has. I'm directly involved with a lot of parents, family, fans, etc. And I know Tennessee ladies basketball better than I know my own address. And I was 100% behind the hiring of Kim because I wanted new blood and I wanted her to get off the Pat Summit coaching tree and go out there and get somebody, great for us, because the Pat Summit coaching tree let us down with Holly and Kelly. They were not head coaches. They were great assistant coaches, but they were not head coaches. Head coaches is a very unique job. It's like a CEO of a business. You don't just handle one thing, you handle everything. And Pat Summit was successful in doing that because she relied on her people to do the things she couldn't do. And right now, per more than one source, I have heard this statement. It is Kim and Jenna in one circle and everybody else in the other.
Hey, Chuck, thank you for the phone call. We got to run. Not painting a rosy picture of Lady Vol basketball. No.
I'll start cutting myself at the break.
Quick timeout. Hour number 3 of The Drive. Coming up. Stay with us.
The Drive. Fan Run Radio, where Big Orange Country comes to talk sports. Start your morning off with your daily dose of talk sports with John Reed and Cody McClure from 8 to 11. Then it's Tony Basilio from 11 to 1. The Playbook with William Pattison from 1 to 3. And The Drive from 3 to 6. It's 10 hours of hard-hitting local sports radio every day, right here on the flagship station for Tennessee fans. This is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Hey Knoxville, Surfside iced tea and vodka made with real brewed tea is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar with no bubbles and no troubles. That's right, 0 carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. Headed to a game day or party at a friend's house? Bring an iced tea or lemonade variety pack from Surfside or try their green tea and new raspberry tea vodka. Find the can with the sunset stripes this season. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sunshine in a can. Must be 21 or older. Enjoy responsibly.
At Knoxville Insurance Group, they understand the challenges many consumers face when searching for insurance coverage. That's why whether it's for you, your family, or your business, they create a coverage plan specifically for your unique needs. Knoxville Insurance Group is an independent firm, which means they aren't beholden to just one insurance company. They search multiple companies acting as your negotiator to find you the best possible policy and price. Start a quote in minutes at KnoxvilleInsuranceGroup.com or call them today at 865-694-9788.
Welcome to Axle Logistics, where excellence isn't just a goal, it's an energy. As a leading third-party logistics company, Axle is powered by an award-winning culture built on a work hard, play hard mentality. Here, the drive for success is contagious and hard work never goes unnoticed. Whether you're just starting out or looking to level up, Axle Logistics is the place to launch your career. Join us and take your ambition to the stars. To learn more, visit axlelogistics.com.
You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
And so did you.
When you raised your hand and swore an oath to your country, when you put your name on a dotted line, you became part of only 1% of Americans who did the same. You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran. Because no matter when, where, or how you served, you made a sacrifice for your country, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Reach out to a loved one, to a fellow veteran, to VA.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Smoky Mountain Brewery is the place to be for game day. From the moment you walk in, it's wall-to-wall big screens, making Smoky Mountain Brewery the perfect place to watch the Vols or your favorite team in action. With locations in Turkey Creek, Maryville, Pigeon Forge, and Gatlinburg, you're never far away from a great time at Smoky Mountain Brewery. Try one of their world-famous microbrews like Black Bear Ale, Mountain Light, or Cherokee Ale. Juicy burgers, wings that bring the heat, and delicious handmade pizzas made with hand-tossed crust from the freshest ingredients and their own special sauce from a secret recipe, topped off with hand-grated cheese and farm-fresh toppings. And don't forget, those famous microbrews are also available in kegs for your next party or in 6-packs and growlers to go. So grab your crew and head to Smoky Mountain Brewery and tell them Fan Run Radio sent you. Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good.
It's time for The Drive's Top 5 at 5.
Quitting time on your Friday, 5 o'clock. Congratulations. You have made it. The weekend is here. I'm Russell Smith. Thanks for tuning in to The Drive here on Fan Run Radio alongside Bob and Bear. We got Walker in with the Top 5 at 5, which is brought to you this afternoon by our good friends over at ECR Total Landscapes. A lot going on this afternoon. Very busy.
Very busy.
Very busy
So
weekend.
much going on.
Walker, what you got?
At number 1, we are less than 24 hours away from the final home game of the 2026 basketball season, as number 23 Tennessee gets set to play in-state rival number 24 Vanderbilt at TBA. Rick Barnes said earlier today that he doesn't know if freshman Nate Ament will play against the Commodores. Tip-off is at 2 p.m. on ESPN, and the Vols are 4.5-point favorites.
You surprised at that line, any?
A little bit.
What was it? Does anyone remember what it was when we were at Vanderbilt?
We were underdogs.
But it was by a handful of
It was like
points.
2.5.
Yeah.
It might have been
3.5.
I mean, this is just,
They've gone on a bit of a downwards, I won't say downward spiral, but they've slipped a little bit the last 10 games.
Their best player?
7-7 their last 14.
No, their best player came back against us. And that was his first game
I think
back.
their
in
best
couple
players
weeks.
debatable. I think Tyler Tanner is their best player.
I think Tanner's become.
But you're talking about Duke Miles.
Duke Miles.
Yeah, Miles was their leading scorer till he got hurt, but Tanner's just continued to ascend.
Tanner's a kid with the really long hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Duke Miles, that was his first game back in a while, and now he's had 2 weeks of basketball under his belt. Yeah. So he's going to be – I think he's going to be a lot better this game than we saw him in that last game, and he was good in that one too.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a big one, man. Vanderbilt has a bone to pick with the Vols. I was reading something on their guy we're going to talk to here in just a minute, Joey Dwyer, who covers them, and they said, hey, we will play them again after we beat them. So they're coming in here for blood. They want to win badly. We might not have Nate. Bishop Boswell missed practice today with illness, so we're a little bit banged up as well. And like we talked about with Polinsky yesterday, it's senior day. You've got the emotions running high in the building. That's something we've struggled with the past couple of years, quite frankly, in coming out ready to play in these types of games. So I hope that, it's not going to be as emotional as when Zakai and Jemai left, or when Triple J and Vescovi and those guys left. But it's still something that we're going to have to deal with and be prepared because, again, I think Vanderbilt is going to try and come in here and punch us in the mouth tomorrow. I think it's going to be a very physical game, and I think it's going to be a close one.
At number 2, Tennessee baseball's last weekend series before conference play starts today against Wright State at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. Josh Elander has named an unchanged weekend starting rotation, with Tegan Coons going tonight, Landon Mack tomorrow, and Evan Blanco on Sunday. First pitch today is at 6 p.m., tomorrow at 3 p.m., which was moved up due to inclement weather predictions, and Sunday at 1 p.m.
I did not realize the weather forecast for the rest of the weekend was so bad.
Yeah, it's not great. Starts to move in tomorrow evening. Looks like around 7 o'clock, maybe.
Just got in such a groove with these last 2 or 3 days. Thought it was going to be like this forever, Bob.
Well, it's early. Not even.
It's not going to get cold. It's just
Yeah.
supposed to be a lot of rain tomorrow and Sunday.
Yeah, and I'm looking.
We do have another cold snap coming next week.
Yeah, what kind of
Oh,
back
great.
half of the week?
This just keeps getting better.
Because I'm seeing a projected high on Wednesday of 80 degrees again, but then it's really cool that night, like in the 40s.
It's gonna drop for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Maybe hey, man, just move it up to noon tomorrow and let's play 2. Get this series in.
Sunday does look rainy.
Be pushing it.
Yeah.
We'll see. Would be pretty cool. Love doubleheaders. At number 3, there is more drama with the Lady Vols after a 7th straight loss last night in the SEC tournament to Alabama. Talasia Cooper, one of the stalwarts on this team, did not play in the final 16 minutes of action as Tennessee tried to mount a comeback late in the game. She later was the first to leave the locker room by herself and did not address the media. Kim Caldwell said that, quote, she wanted to give her some air. I think your emotions can get running and just wanted to get her outside and with a staff member so she could breathe.
Breathing is good. Don't want her to suffocate.
I mean, what do we expect her to say? I mean, it was obviously a very tense situation between player and coach, and it's best for everybody. If
This season needs to be over. If she's going to be back next year, she needs to get a head start on remaking her roster. If what the caller Chuck says is true, what Bob indicated at the beginning of the show, that you're going to have mass defections this offseason, then she's going to need all the time she can to replenish this roster. And it's not very encouraging going forward.
No, certainly is not. At number 4, let's look at the best games this weekend in college basketball. Tonight, the best game is number 18, St. John's, playing at Seton Hall. Tomorrow, number 5, Florida, plays at Kentucky. Number 17, North Carolina, plays at number 1, Duke. And number 10, Texas Tech, plays at BYU. For that UNC Duke game, it was reported earlier today that their star freshman, Caleb Wilson, I believe? Caleb Wilson is done for the season after having surgery on his broken thumb earlier today.
Bye-bye, Carolina.
Mm-hmm. And also on Sunday, we got arguably the best game of the weekend with number 8 Michigan State playing at number 3 Michigan.
Man, I know that our guy is banged up a little bit now, but I think he's going to come back and play, Nate Ament.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, in January, the conversation was, we got the wrong freshman.
Yeah.
And now you look at what's going on with Darren Peterson, Caleb Wilson's injury. Darius Acuff is banged up right now. I know he's probably SEC Player of the Year candidate, but
yeah, he's sitting out tomorrow.
He's doubtful. So yeah,
no, I mean they just announced it
that he's out.
He's sitting out tomorrow.
Okay, which is not great for us, honestly, because they're playing at Missouri. We kind of would like Missouri to lose that game. But.
My point is, maybe Rick Barnes knows what he's doing after all when he's recruiting these high value freshmen. Nate Ament's been pretty good.
I think he was making about $6 or $7 million a year when it was going bad for him.
What freshman would you take Acuff over Ament?
Yeah, he's good.
Probably.
Man.
Would you take DeBonsa?
Yeah.
Would you take Darren Peterson?
No.
Would you take Caleb Wilson?
That's a toss-up.
That one's.
I mean,
that's
really
the
good.
closest one I'd say was between him and Eamon.
What about Boozer?
Oh, I'd take Cam Boozer. Yeah.
I wasn't just on the principle. He's a dude.
I'd say about the only guys that are ranked ahead of Nate that I wouldn't take is probably Peterson, and it's just because it's such a roller
Attitude.
coaster. Yeah.
Yep.
Middle.
And at number 5, the men's basketball program at Cal State Bakersfield won't turn any heads with their last place finish in the Big West Conference. But when it comes to scandal, the school could be a top contender. Cal State Bakersfield's athletic department has been in upheaval since August 29th when the men's basketball coach Rod Barnes opened an anonymous email from a tipster who alleged that Barnes' temporary assistant Kevin Mays was also working as a pimp across 4 states. Other lawsuits, internal investigation, dismissals, and finger-pointing have only served to deepen the department's sense of crisis. In the email, the tipster identified a woman whom Mays allegedly had trafficked for several months. Mays, who is being held without bail, faces a hefty rap sheet of 11 criminal and misdemeanor charges, including felonies such as pimping.
You know what they say.
What? No, Bob. What do they say about pimping? I cannot wait to hear this.
Pimping ain't easy.
It's not.
That's all.
You would know.
No, that's a song, right?
That is a song.
And Rod Barnes, shout out old SEC coach.
I was going to say that dude coached at Ole Miss back in the day.
Yep.
Well, you think that Kim Caldwell's culture problems are bad? At least she doesn't have a pimp working on staff, as far as we know.
Doesn't she? Yeah, I don't know. Probably not. Probably not.
I have the mighty of like he had a couple of good teams at the Ansu Cisse. Was it Justin Reed? I think was there in the early 2000s. And now he's running a program at Cal State Bakersfield with a pimp as his assistant coach.
His team was the one that got Bryce Drude in the NCAA tournament.
Yes, Valpo.
Yep. What a play!
I mean, it was not much of a play. It was just a simple give and go. The guy made a crazy shot at the buzzer.
But I mean, it was,
and that was the dude who coached Vandy, right?
Yeah, it was the length. He coaches
Byington?
Grand Canyon now. No, Bryce Drew.
Oh.
And Scott Drew is his brother.
Really?
Yeah. Length of the floor pass. No, it was orchestrated, man. It was beautiful. Guy caught it. It was like a touch pass to Drew on the run. Fires a jumper.
Okay.
It's pretty.
I mean, you really got to be proud of yourself. I mean, you imagine being a pimp. I mean, who are you going to tell? That's like the lowest. I feel like it's one of the lowest forms of.
Well, it's
life
weird.
there is.
It's weird because you say that, but then like we had a stretch. I feel like you say pimping and he's pimping and all that stuff. Like people kind of glorified it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but
it's the lowest form of life if you really think about it.
Like when I think of pimps, I think of Hustle and Flow,
DJ.
Yeah. Whoop that trick. I think of Harvey Keitel in Taxi Driver.
He
was a good pimp. He was a bad person, but he was like a good fictitious pimp.
There was a movie, and I can't remember, where Morgan Freeman. This was like one of the first times I saw Morgan Freeman as an actor. He was a pimp. He was a bad guy, man. I forget the movie, though.
But, I mean, in real life, pimps are like Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
He's like the sleaziest dudes
Ghislaine Maxwell
you could possibly imagine, right?
There's pimps, and then there's, I mean, there are not many different levels to it, but I think we'd all agree that it's like she's up there with the devil.
Who?
Ghislaine Maxwell.
Oh. Yeah.
Trafficking children.
The more I hear about her, the more I don't care for her. Thank you, Walker. That's the Top 5 at 5, Fan Run Radio. Coming up here in just a few minutes, we're going to be joined by Joey Dwyer, covers Vanderbilt. Get some of the Vandy flavor of the Senior Day matchup tomorrow. Hard to believe it. Regular season finale at Thompson Bowling Assembly Center and Arena. Let's get a call from Phil. Good afternoon, Phil. You're on the drive.
What day, David?
What's up, Phil?
Entertaining day, isn't it?
Well, I tell you what, I hate that we are having this conversation about Kim Caldwell already. You know, people, oh, you guys love this and everything. I don't want to run her out of it. I want Lady Vol basketball to be Lady Vol basketball.
Agreed.
But what we've been seeing the past week or so with all the off-the-court drama, the on-the-court product is bad enough. That's awful. Unwatchable. But when you've lost, I mean, this is Pat Summitt's program. How can you have toxicity over there? It's unacceptable.
Well, I've seen the men's program in a very similar situation, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's
about 20 years.
I keep expecting Wade Houston to walk out there, Phil.
I'll say this. If you think this Lady Vol thing, Danny Dollars is going to get heat from it, if Barnes gets beat tomorrow and Hopple gets beat by Georgia Tech in September, Danny White will be on, his seat will be burning hot, buddy.
Boy, it's a different view of him. Maybe we put the Danny White approval poll in the field.
Honestly, the whole thing's Danny White. Everybody knows it. Let's get real. He hired the woman. I don't care if he had a search firm or not. He's supposed to come from a basketball family. His brother can't coach a lick. He's down there at Georgia. They played Jerry Greenball down there at Georgia. Georgia's got two players. I'd poach their roster and get them up here next year. Catchings and Wilkerson.
Oh, I thought for sure he was going to say Blue Cane.
He's a senior.
Blue Cane don't like Barnes, so he won't come up here.
There was in the text box earlier in the show, we didn't say it, but while we're on the subject, said, can you name 3 positive things Danny White has done for the university and the fans? It's a thinker. I'd say he's advanced some things, but at what cost now?
Let's be honest, though, guys. Football is going to determine. Women's basketball, as big as it is at the University of Tennessee, is not going to make or break Danny White.
Football is.
Yeah.
It's Josh Heupel is the key to his survival here long term.
Yeah, you're right. And this G10 carnival that Danny White wants, that's the biggest joke I ever heard of. How the hell are you going to do that? There's land locked against that river down there. There's no damn way they can do that.
In fact, you called it a carnival. Now all I can picture is like a Ferris wheel and other stuff.
Danny's Big Top.
The World's Fair.
Yeah.
I'll guess your age.
Big Top Dan. Yeah.
Carnival Barker.
Jalen Carey out there with the big sledgehammer ringing the bell.
Well, see the bearded woman. Can do something tomorrow, Bob.
What's that?
Oh, John Kerry can do something tomorrow.
Yeah. Again, it's not a hard script. I know South Carolina is a much more inferior team than Vanderbilt, but Vandy's not very good inside, man. We should be able to do something.
Well, if Estrella can get at least 10 points and Dwayne Brown get about 8 like he did at Vanderbilt, then you got Estrella. I mean, Acapara, they'll be able to do something. I mean, pound that thing in there. I'll make the referees call it.
That's what we're going to do. That's what we have to do to be successful. We don't have enough outside shooting.
No, we sure don't. Just hope Jacoby has a decent game, and he's going to get some wide open shots.
Yeah.
His percentage is way down, though, here lately.
He hasn't been shooting well, but
I think that's it, just maybe running out of gas from all we've been asking of him.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, we do ask a lot. That's what we were talking about with Polinsky yesterday. It'd be fitting for him, though. I hope he's got a good final game in TBA. We need it.
So you're going to have a commode beat rider on next?
Oh, yes. We do.
Ask them I'm impressed at the new stadium in football. They finally got more than 2 restrooms. See you.
Well, that was one of the more infamous stories on the drive. Phil, as history has shown, does not necessarily need a restroom to relieve himself at Vanderbilt Stadium.
What's this? What's this story?
It's barely fit for air the first couple of times it's been told.
It involves a rainy day and a poncho, is all I'll say.
And a pretty...
Coming up, Joey Dwyer joins us. He covers Vanderbilt. We will get a preview of tomorrow's game coming up next right here on Fan Run Radio.
The Drive. Can't get enough Fan Run Radio? Be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel by searching for Fan Run Sports.
Check out Lenore City's newest place to hang out, watch sports, and drink the best craft beers in America. The Casual Pint Lenore City is now open on Highway 321. They've got over 30 beers on tap, with everything from lagers and pilsners to sours and IPAs, as well as stouts, porters, and brown ales. You can also create your own six-pack from their singles cooler or pick up some packaged beer and a growler fill to go. And be sure to bring your appetite because they have a great menu featuring appetizers, brats, burgers, flatbreads, and wings. It's the Casual Pint Lenore City, now open on Highway 321 across from Gold's Gym in Lenore City. Swing by and check them out, and don't forget to tell them Fan Run Radio sent you.
Vol fans, reimagine your home at Broadway Carpets and Flooring for any remodeling or building needs. With a variety of carpets, rugs, hardwood, vinyl, and stone, Broadway has all the flooring and installation options you're looking for, including pet-resistant products like Pet Perfect Carpet from Shaw Floors. Visit their showroom in downtown Knoxville or the location in West Knoxville located on Kingston Pike near Pellissippi Parkway today.
Hey, Vols fans, Cody Brown here. I grew up right here in Tennessee and know what it means when someone says, I've got your back. That's why you can trust Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee. Whether it's your home, your vehicle, your family's future, or the business you built from the ground up, we will show up for all of your insurance needs. We are Tennesseans who understand what matters, which is doing right by you. Insurance is not all about just paperwork and policies, but it's about the people we insure every day. So if you want insurance that hits home, give me a call at 865-992-3871. Go Vols.
Hi, this is Dr. Stephen Malone at Knoxville Smiles. Has it been a while since your last dental visit? If so, I'd like to invite you to come see us. At Knoxville Smiles, it's our vision to provide the best dental care in town in a relaxed, friendly environment. So if it's been a while and you've been putting it off, don't wait any longer. Come see us at Knoxville Smiles. You can schedule an appointment online at knoxvillesmiles.com or by phone at 865-539-1776.
Welcome back. The Drive continues. Fan Run Radio. Russell Smith, Bob Baskerville, Baron Walker through the glass this afternoon, and Joey Dwyer covers all things Vanderbilt for Vandy on SI and Basket Under Review. Good afternoon, Joey. How are you, sir?
Good. It's best time of the year, so glad to be with you guys. Looking forward to tomorrow and talking about it with you guys.
Guys, who does Joey sound like?
It just sounds just like Ryan Shumpert.
Yeah.
That hit me immediately.
It threw me when I called him off the air because I was like, did I dial the right number?
Poor Joey. You've gone through this multiple times. I'm sorry, man.
It's a great compliment. And Ryan Shumpert, a fellow Chicago Cubs fan, so we're in good company here.
Okay. No, I thought I was – now I can't unhear it. This is going to be difficult. Joey, thanks for jumping on with us here. We got a big one in Knoxville tomorrow. Vanderbilt struggling a little bit down the stretch here. What's your read on this Commodores team coming into the regular season finale?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think there's some thought that they might have peaked a little bit early. You're looking at in January, they're a contender to win the SEC title here. If things go poorly this weekend, they could be the 10th seed in the SEC tournament. Obviously, Duke Miles being out for a while and having to reintegrate him in the lineup matters, but it just feels like Vanderbilt's not as sharp as it once was. And really, I think it's trying to get itself back in a lot of ways. I don't know if that's the internal messaging, but you're looking at it and they haven't played a complete game in 3 or so weeks where you're really looking at it and saying that's the things that a second weekend team does. I think we thought all along that they've got the ability to be a second weekend team, but we haven't seen it in a long time. So I think it's just wondering, can they get back to form? Can they ever get to that level? Tomorrow is a good opportunity for that, but obviously it won't be easy to do it in Knoxville.
Joey, appreciate you hopping on, man. It's good talking to you. Let's fan this out a little bit. We just played these guys a couple of weeks ago. It was a great game. And yeah, it's been a tougher sledding for you guys over the last 14 games, 7-7. But one thing we know for sure is this has a chance to be a battle of some pretty elite point guards between Jacoby Gillespie and Tyler Tanner. From your perspective covering the team, Tyler was a nice player as a freshman. Didn't make any. I think his calling card was he made like 0 turnovers for the most part of the season. But this year now there's chatter of him being borderline lottery pick in the NBA draft. I mean, did you see this coming with him?
No, I don't think anybody saw this exactly coming. I mean, last year he was a relatively inefficient catch and shoot guy who was a good defender and gave them some things, but I mean, he was really their third point guard last year, and obviously that needs to have the context that Mark Byington likes to play with 2 point guards, but he was behind A.J. Hoggard. He was behind Grant Huffman. I think the peripheral signs weren't all that great either. You knew what he could do in high school, but he's an undersized point guard that didn't shoot it all that well. Everybody expected a leap when he got stronger and he got in the gym and increased his role, but, I mean, he's truly elite right now, and if you told me at the beginning of the year he's about as good as Jacoby Gillespie or maybe even better, I don't think I would have believed you. I've watched Jacoby Gillespie a lot in person over the years when he was at Belmont, and I just knew he had the goods, and I thought Tyler Tanner could get there one day. I don't think anybody thought it would be this fast to where we're talking about does Tyler Tanner have another year at Vanderbilt in him? I certainly did not see that coming.
Another question I have for you, and I think this is something to watch for this game because we remember last season in Nashville specifically when the Vols were there, Tyler Nickel, another Tyler, lit us up. And he's a big part of this team this year. However, feels like he's in a slump. He didn't shoot that well against Tennessee a couple weeks ago. I think by my count, he's like 9 of his last 42 on 3-point field goal attempts. Has that been part of the demise for this team? The fact that he's just gone ice cold the last 5-6 games?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I've kind of said all along, and I think I told you this yesterday, I think the key to Vanderbilt beating Tennessee is Duke Miles and Tyler Nickel have to be better than Tennessee's wings and 2 guards. And a lot of that's got to do with Tyler Nickel's shot making. You're not going to get a whole lot of open shots against Tennessee from 3-point range. When Tyler Nickel has 1 or 2, he's got to make it. There's no other real option at that point. If you're going to win against Tennessee on the road, Tyler Nickel's got to be Tyler Nickel again. It's been a long time, guys, and they're a significantly more dynamic team. When he's on, he's one of the best shooters in the league. He led the league in 3-point percentage before the slump. Obviously, we're still waiting on it to come down the stretch here, though. They need him. He's as dynamic a shooter and shot maker as there is in the SEC, but this hasn't been him the last couple of weeks, and as a result, they've left a lot on the bone here.
Hey, Joey, walk us through this situation with Frankie Collins. Hasn't played for Vanderbilt since December with a knee injury, but he's left the team now. It was a weird comment by Mark Byington basically saying he's not in Nashville anymore. And then Collins on social media kind of lashed out at the fans a little bit, and it seems like that was perhaps a bit of distraction behind the scenes for the Commodores.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation. A lot of it I'm not at liberty to quite share yet, but from what I understand, there was essentially some sort of disagreement as to what it would take for Frankie to get back on the court between Vanderbilt and Collins camp. And I think the storyline here is just Frankie Collins is not going to be with Vanderbilt next year, and I don't think the relationship ended on a great note. He's in Fresno, California, rehabbing right now, and I don't expect him to be with the team ever again. It hurts Vanderbilt, but I also don't think he gives them a ton that they don't have elsewhere on the roster. But, yeah, really interesting situation, and I think if you ask Mark Byington his side of the story and you ask Frankie Collins his side of the story, the stories don't even really, they're not even really reminiscent of each other. So really interesting.
So this game tomorrow, if you're Vanderbilt scouting Tennessee, what do you think? What do you think the vulnerability of Tennessee is that Vanderbilt could take advantage of?
It's interesting. I think Tennessee's front court is better, especially considering JP Estrella is going to be on the court this time. I think really where Vanderbilt is probably better and needs to show that it's better is its scoring outside of the point guard on the wing, where I think Tennessee is going to have Jacoby Gillespie kind of matching what Tyler Tanner does at least. And I think Duke Miles and Tyler Nickel are the key here because I think they're more dynamic scorers than Amari Evans and Bishop Boswell and Ethan Berg. And I think that's got to be the difference because Tennessee's going to win on the glass. Tennessee's probably going to be more physical and might get to the line more. Really, I think the point guard's almost even out, so Vanderbilt's got to be better in terms of its off-ball scoring on the perimeter. It's got to have Duke Miles be Duke Miles again. He seems to be kind of getting back into rhythm after the injury kept him out for a while, but as we've mentioned, it's difficult to get a guy like that back in the lineup and have his production translate back seamlessly. And then Tyler Nickel's got to be himself again as well. Vanderbilt, I think, probably is a better team than Tennessee if those things happen. But those things haven't happened in a long time, guys.
Talking with Joey Dwyer this afternoon. He covers Vanderbilt. And, Joey, you talk about Mark Byington and the situation of Frankie Collins. I mean, it's hard not to take Byington's side. I'm sure for Commodores fans, he's done an excellent job there. Back-to-back 21 seasons now. And obviously this team will go to the NCAA tournament. I keep seeing or hearing rumblings of Byington being connected with other jobs. And, you know, if Will Wade moves, would NC State have interest? Would he be a candidate at Cincinnati? And I look at those jobs, Joey, and think, I don't know if that's a step up from Vanderbilt. And we've seen what they've been able to do in football here the past couple of years and the investment that the university is putting in there. Obviously, they've had a lot of success at baseball for a long time now. And I'm just wondering what the commitment to basketball is at Vanderbilt, because it seems outside looking in that if they can keep Byington and fund his program, that he could get that thing back on track.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation there. First of all, I think this cycle is too weak in terms of high-profile jobs for him to want to go anywhere. Last year, I actually think there was a greater chance he left, but I don't think teams were willing to touch that buyout that he had. Virginia and Indiana are two schools that I think had some interest, and I haven't gotten an indication that the interest was not reciprocated there. I will say early in the year, I thought there was a greater chance he would leave than what I see now. I think he really, from what I've observed about him, he's strategic in terms of what buttons he likes to push publicly. Obviously, he made some commentary about how he needed more money in rev share and how he needed the student section to be better early in the year. At first, I interpreted those things as him being unhappy in the job. I think as I've gotten to know him better and just gotten to kind of be around him and his messaging a little bit more, those are buttons he wants to push in order to make the job more sustainable, not necessarily to voice his displeasure with the program. So I certainly wouldn't count it out if North Carolina opens in a couple of years and they want to go outside the family, or same with Kansas or something along those lines, or maybe in his home state of Virginia. I think that would be appealing to him in a lot of ways, although Virginia's really the only worthwhile job there right now. I'll say right now, though, I think Vanderbilt's going to keep him for next year and then worry about the rest later. I've heard the rev share has kind of been solved since he made his public commentary about it. So I would guess that Vanderbilt's going to at least keep him next year. It does seem like the commitment's in the right place, at least for now.
One thing I know he's been vocal about is facilities and everything. And, you know, we always kind of poke fun at Memorial Gym, but I've, correct me if I'm wrong, I've heard, like, as far as other, like, basketball practice facilities, et cetera, it's well situated over there, right?
Yeah, and that was actually a pre-Byington thing. They got that rolling under Jerry Stackhouse. I actually think he was part of the, I guess, designing process for the facility. I know Shea Ralph was, so I would assume it was the same for Stackhouse, although I don't think they wanted to say that once Stackhouse was let go and the facility was open. But Vanderbilt believes they've got a state-of-the-art facility. I think Byington has been a big supporter of it as well. They get NBA guys in there to work out, and it really is kind of what Vanderbilt's baseball facility is for MLB guys, where if you want to come to Nashville for the summer, you can work out there. Previously, I think a lot of guys were going to Lipscomb and Belmont to work out in the summer just because those facilities were more accessible. They were more up to date than what Vanderbilt had previously. But right now it feels like Vanderbilt has really stepped into having the premier basketball facility in the city, which, again, it wasn't always the case, and it sounds like a no-brainer. But I think that's a big deal for Vanderbilt, and it makes it a lot more competitive, particularly with guys that are kind of even on the rev share and NIL number. That's the type of thing that can get it over the finish line for Vanderbilt.
Heady times for sports in Nashville right now. You have the new Titan Stadium coming online. You got Major League Soccer, NHL in there. A lot of talk about Major League Baseball coming in, and Vanderbilt trying to get a little bit of a SEC renaissance for the Commodores going here. Of course, we mentioned earlier, Joey, baseball there under Tim Corbin has been so good for so long. And a lot of people wonder, now that other schools in the league are investing in their baseball programs, will Vandy be able to keep up? I noticed that the Vandy boys have been falling victim to the midweek minefield that seems to be contagious in college baseball. Any concern there, or do you think Corbin has them bouncing back this season?
Well, there's definitely some level of concern. I'll say I think they're better than they've shown thus far. My concern is I don't know if they got enough at the bottom of the lineup to be a real contender, and I also don't know if they have enough in the bullpen yet. I think they're relying on some guys to take steps forward, so you want to build in some time. And Tim Corbin's also talked about how it's a long season. He's always a process guy where he wants it to be better at the end than it is at the beginning. But you're looking at it and you're saying they haven't gotten out of a regional in a long time, and this has kind of got to be the year. This is the year I thought, really invested in bats in the portal, and I thought this lineup is better. I still think it's better than it was. I think their numbers would probably indicate that year over year here, but I mean, they lost 4 in a row before they beat Troy in the midweek, and Troy's a little down relative to what it's been. So, yeah, I think there's definitely some reason to worry. I also think give it 2 or 3 more weeks, and we might be talking a little bit differently. If we're not, we might be talking about the regional streak ending, and I think at that point you really got to wonder where this is all heading. And not to say that Tim Corbin should not have his terms to retire. I think he certainly should. But, again, what kind of changes do you have to make under Tim Corbin? Do you have to change the level of investment? Do you have to change some of the philosophies? I don't know the answer to that, but if you miss a regional, I think you got to start asking those types of questions.
Russ was just talking about a lot of stuff happening in Nashville. For mid-major basketball, there's been a lot of good stuff, except for today, right? I mean, Belmont,
right.
Wow. Do you think that's something that could cost them a spot? Because I can't see the Missouri Valley getting 2 spots in the tournament.
Oh, yeah, that's it. They're going to go to the NIT, I'm sure, if they want to go to the NIT, and maybe that can help Casey Alexander kind of get back on his feet. I don't know how heavily he's pursuing jobs, but if he wants one, that's going to help. But, gosh, what a sour end to their season. They were the best team in the league all year. I think they were up 2 games on everybody else at the time they won the regular season title, and for a 10 like that is just brutal. They didn't defend well enough, and I always had my concerns about them because I didn't think they had a go-to guy necessarily. That wasn't even about not having a go-to guy. That was just the wrong day to have a bad day, and sucks for Belmont, sucks for Lipscomb as well to end year 1 under Kevin Carroll on a sour note, but maybe Tennessee State can save the city tonight as they play UT Martin.
Okay. I guess Bruce Pearl will not have any sympathy for Belmont.
No. None whatsoever.
All right, Joey, good stuff, my man. Anything else? What do you think is going to happen tomorrow over at Thompson Bowling? You think Vanderbilt comes in here? And I was reading your timeline. I mean, there was a lot of talk about after the last game, hey, we play these guys again. It's a rivalry. Do you think Vanderbilt comes in here with their hair on fire, determined to beat Tennessee tomorrow?
Yeah, I wouldn't be stunned. I actually aligned pretty similarly with Ken Palm on my prediction where I had Tennessee winning by 4. Obviously, that's different if Nate Amon isn't in the lineup, and I don't know. From what I've heard, that's probably not going to be the case, but we'll see tonight. Just interesting. If Vanderbilt's at its best, I think it can go and win by 7 to 10 points. If it's not, which I have more reason to believe that it's not going to be at its best with its hair on fire. I think it's got to prove that to me still. I would guess Tennessee. Just I think it has a higher baseline and a higher floor at this point, and I'd probably go with Tennessee. But going to be really interesting. One of the more fascinating Vanderbilt basketball games of the year, just to kind of see what the energy level is like, to see how the offense flows and how it deals with everything that Tennessee is going to throw at it. But I really appreciate you guys having me. Enjoyed it. Always love coming on. Bob's the GOAT.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, he's
man.
all right.
Yeah, no, Joey's right. Hey, very last thing for me, Joey, and we do appreciate you coming on. We look at, I think I've looked at this, I've teased it over as much as I can. If Tennessee loses tomorrow to you guys and some other things happen, I still think Tennessee could finish no worse than like 6th seed in the SEC tournament. For you guys, it's a different story, right? I mean, there is a possibility if certain things go sideways, and if you lose to Tennessee, Vanderbilt could be they could be going without a bye. Is that possible?
Yeah, they could be as low as the 10 seed if everything went poorly for them. And if they win, I think the lowest they could be is the 7. I mean, things really fluctuate based off of Saturday and the results. Seriously, they could be the 4 seed or they could be the 10 seed. I don't know that I've seen that big of a range going into the last day of the regular season, but here we go. And no making spring break plans around Nashville right now. You gotta be ready to be at practice on Tuesday, or you got to be ready to be at the arena on Friday. Who knows?
He is Joey Dwyer. He covers Vanderbilt for Sports Illustrated. Joey, really appreciate the time. Have a great weekend. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Looking forward to hopefully the next run.
Thank you, Joey.
Joey Dwyer, one more time on the program.
Cannot unhear it.
I know. Sounds so much like Shumpert.
Well, see, Bob said something yesterday. He goes, I'm not going to tell you guys.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah.
He goes, he sounds like one of our other guests. It's really a compliment.
He didn't tell that to me, but I heard it as soon as he came on.
No, I know.
And by the way, like he's coming into the game tomorrow. He and Shump are boys. I mean, they'll hang out.
I was going to say, like, we should have gotten Shump and let them talk to each other, and we could just play a game called Guess Who's Talking Now.
Yeah, we've talked about, we used to do that on my my other show when I would say that. I was like, we need to do that sometime, get him and Shump on
I used to
together.
do that with Houston and Nate.
Yes.
Who was who?
Yeah. Somebody mentioned his picture too. That he looks like he's about 16. He's a young dude, but he is
young man's game.
Very knowledgeable though, man. He's a sharp one.
I mean, there's a bunch of those youngish. I mean, they're all in their 20s. Walker's one of them.
So wrapping up here, the College Sports Symposium is underway at the White House.
Yes.
That's some comical stuff coming out of that thing.
Well, it makes for some strange bedfellows. And I don't know if you guys have seen the pictures, but to be a fly on the wall for some of these.
There's some really silly stuff.
The small talk. Yeah, we'll get into it when we continue here. Stay with us. The shocking conclusion of The Drive coming up next.
The Drive. The voluntary reaction. Tune in to the Fan Run app and our YouTube channel immediately after every big UT game for instant analysis and crazy calls.
What kind of day is it? It's a White Claw day. Grab a pack, grab your friends. Everything else in life can wait. Your friends shouldn't. Let's go. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Where are the best ribs in the Volunteer State? Rickard Ridge. Who has the best barbecue catering packages in East Tennessee? Rickard Ridge. And where is the most beautiful setting to enjoy a meal with family and friends? Rickard Ridge. Rickard Ridge Barbecue. Just a quick ride up I-75, take exit 134, hang a right, and Rickard Ridge is on your left, just inside Cove Lake State Park.
Welcome to Axle Logistics, where excellence isn't just a goal, it's an energy. As a leading third-party logistics company, Axle is powered by an award-winning culture built on a work hard, play hard mentality. Here, the drive for success is contagious and hard work never goes unnoticed. Whether you're just starting out or looking to level up, Axle Logistics is the place to launch your career. Join us and take your ambition to the stars. To learn more, visit axlelogistics.com.
What's up, Fan Run Nation? This is Evan Rogers with ECR Total Landscapes. We're excited to continue our free stump grinding promotion with Fan Run Radio this year through March 31st. If you've got problem trees in your yard, give us a call and we'll come out and cut them down and grind the stumps for free when you mention you heard us right here on Fan Run Radio. Take it from Russ. We'll treat you right at ECR Total Landscapes.
That's right, Evan. I had the ECR team out to Stately Smith Manor last year, and they took down a bunch of trees for me and grinded the stumps for free. Now I don't have to worry about those trees falling on my house, and my yard looks much better. Do what I did. Call ECR Total Landscapes.
Thanks, Russ. Call us today and we'll come out and give you a free estimate. Our number is 865-384-2012 and our website is ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
All right, wrapping up here on the Drive Fan Run Radio, the Saving College Sports Roundtable. It's here.
It's a joke.
It's here. It's happening. Donald Trump serving as chair of the roundtable. This is happening at the White House right now, and they've literally got a round table. One of the big. Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida, vice chair, and New York Yankees president Randy Levine, the vice chairs. Tiger Woods, Bryson DeChambeau, Tim Tebow, Tony Dungy, Mac Brown, amongst the invitees who were not able to attend. So not everybody taking this as seriously as the president, evidently. But I'll tell you some of the people who are there, and I'm looking at a picture right now at the Saving College Sports Roundtable. And there is our illustrious chancellor, Dondi Plowman, front and center at this thing.
She got orange on?
She does not. Looks like a Power T pen, lapel pin.
That's classy.
And who do you think she's sitting right next to? Guess, Bear. A college football power broker sitting right next to Dondi Plowman.
I'd either say Saban or Sankey.
Urban Meyer.
Ooh.
Right next to Dondi.
Ooh. Oh, I heard he's gone. He ranted and raved about the collectives and NIL.
What do you think Dondi Plowman talks to Urban Meyer about?
Something very superficial.
Well, think like, hey, didn't we try and hire you once, or
were you doing bong reps when you were getting interviewed? You and your buddies.
Didn't I last see you with your hand about halfway up some young girl's rear end when you were coaching the?
Odds are that didn't come up, but
you don't think she led with that?
Unlikely, but
I mean, out of the four of us, Bob, you've been in more of these type around people, powerful people like this. So I don't know. That's how we talk.
People will make jokes, rightfully so, about the obvious political photo op stunt that this is, and little will come of it, I'm sure. But ironically, Bob, this is what needs to happen on a much smaller scale without politicians involved. We talked about it. Is you don't need any of these people in the room. You need Sankey, Tony Petitti. Maybe you let the ACC and the Big 12 guys in, and a handful of lawyers, and hammer this thing out. At least decide who's going to be eligible for college sports.
No, I agree. They've got some of the right players, like Jimmy Pitaro's in there from ESPN. I mean, I think media's got to be represented because that's such a big.
Well, I mean, that's the one. Yeah, I mean, ESPN's one handing out the $1 billion check.
Yeah.
That's
the part I struggle with is Marco Rubio, Alan Letnick. I mean, these guys, you want to talk about guys that are just bogging the process down and the discussion down. I mean, you've got to have the president in there. I understand that he's the one calling the meeting, but then when he starts bringing in cabinet members, this does need to happen, but it's got to be a much more distilled version of this meeting.
Yeah, it's not going to. But you got 50 people who are invited, and it sounded like maybe 40 showed up. If these people meet for an hour, that gives what? Each person maybe a minute and a half to talk.
What is that? And it doesn't get past the biggest problem they have is Alston and specifically Brett Kavanaugh and what he in his concurrent, whatever that thing's called, where he basically kicked the NCAA's teeth in.
It's like I think Jeff. I'm kind of riffing here, but Jeff Bezos says it. It's like if you're having a meeting and there's a pizza is not enough to go around for the attendees, then it's too many people.
Okay. I don't know if that's a hard and fast rule, but I like it. It's pithy.
No, I mean, in this one, you can't do it with 8 people, but you don't need 50 for sure. And yeah, there's a lot of grandstanding going on to be sure as well. But we need something. We all agree on that.
Maybe you never know. Maybe they'll figure it all out. Trump will come out. We got a deal. It's the best deal ever.
Yeah.
And college sports will be great again.
No, I want to go straight back to court, and then they're going to hit the big brick wall that is the Alston decision.
Well, when you put it that way, why even try? Let's get Blake in here. Blake, you're on the drive. It's Fan Run Radio.
Hey, guys. I feel like that round table could be an extended credit scene from Don't Look Up a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Pretty
well
close
played.
to it.
That's very good.
I would love to know who would play Urban Meyer in that one.
I think you got to go with Tom Hanks.
No.
You can play anybody.
Kevin Spacey?
Yes.
Yes. Love that.
Perfect, Blake.
That's really good.
Oh, on another note, did it sting a little bit when Barnes said that Jacoby had grown up wanting to play in the Food City Arena instead of Thompson Bowling?
No, I don't even notice it anymore.
It stung from the perspective of I would have loved to have had him here for 4 years.
Yeah, 100%. I thought it's always, I don't know if I'm used to the Food City when your head coach is calling it the Food City Arena instead of Thompson Bowling at this point. But
would Jacoby have stayed here, fellas, for 4 years? Had he been here the past 4 years, or would he have gone somewhere else looking for playing time? Who was he going to play in front of?
Well, it sounds like he wanted to be here enough to where it would have mattered for him. I think the question is, like any basketball player that comes here, is can they take 4 years of Rick Barnes? Not that Rick Barnes is a bad coacher, but I mean, he drives you hard, man. It's not for everybody.
No, 100. That's tough. I think he would have. I guess he probably would have left after 2 or 3 years, especially if you've got Zakai and Kennedy in front of him. Assuming, I don't know if Kennedy Chandler.
I think it would have been because he would have been after Zakai. So I think he would
have been the class after Kennedy and Zakai. So he would have been a fresh. Okay.
I like to think that he would have stuck around, but we'll never know, I guess.
Yeah, that's fair. I was having this conversation with a couple people the other night, but assuming we stay on the five line in the tournament, and because I don't think, unless we make a run for it and we beat Florida in the SEC or go all the way to the championship, we're probably not going to creep up to that 4 line. But which 4 seeds would you want to play, or which one scares you the most in that round of 32 game right now, based on Lenardi's bracketology?
That's a good one. I know who I want to play. I'd like to play Virginia. I really believe we could match up well against them. It depends. If I would say Texas
assuming
Tech.
Heyman's back.
Yeah, I would say Texas Tech, but I think they're gettable too. I'm not that worried about the 4 seeds, honestly. It's more what 1 seed would we have to play, because they're just so elite right now.
Do you think? Yeah, I think probably Virginia. I think the one that would either scare me the most is Kansas or Texas Tech, just because I don't really want to play against Pearson when we already lost without him playing. And then I think the only one we would have a prayer against those 1 lines is maybe UConn, to be honest. I think Duke, Michigan, and Arizona, their bigs are just, we've seen how we look against other teams that have good bigs, and that's the only one that I feel like we would have a fighting chance against.
I don't want to play against Tobe. It hurt too bad.
Yeah.
That's literally fair. Or emotionally?
Yes.
Hey, Blake, we got to run, man. Thanks for the phone call. Appreciate it. Clay Travis says, Urban Meyer teeing off on the reality that NIL doesn't really exist in college sports. It's pay for play. NIL should be, per Meyer, actually paying players to do commercials and the like. He's in favor for that.
Interesting.
He is right.
Yeah.
He can shoot the messenger,
right. But again, they can't enforce the rules.
Joshy Boy will be our final caller of the evening. What's up, Josh?
What's up, guys? How are you doing today?
Doing well, thank you.
Good. Bob, I was going to ask you this question yesterday. It's for you and Russ. So who would you rather have wide receiver-wise for the Titans this season if you had your choice? Mike Evans, Alec Pierce, or Wan'Dale Robinson in free agency?
He's a Colts fan. You know that. You just value his opinion. Huh?
No. I
do. I really do.
I say give me Wan'Dale Robinson, honestly. I like him the best of those.
We got to coach the Kentucky out of him.
Yeah.
I mean, I would take Mike Evans, but he's getting old, and he would probably want a lot of money asking price.
He's brittle, too.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I would go Wan'Dale Robinson. So, Russ, could this be the year that we finally do something if everything clicks right in free agency and the draft?
No, we'll screw it up somehow.
Can't be the geopolitical year of the Titan?
No, I don't know. Joshy Boy, I like the moves. It's just we need so much help at so many different positions. I'm really intrigued to see what they do next week. And of course, that'll inform what happens in the draft. And I'm more optimistic than I was a year ago. I'll say that.
Same. So tomorrow against Vandy, I'm really positive about tomorrow. I think our bigs have too much form like they did last game up in Nashville. I just think we're going to pound them inside, and we're going to get a win for the seniors tomorrow in TBA. Have a great weekend, GBO.
Thank you, Joshy Boy. Appreciate the phone call.
Yeah, I like it. I think so too. I tend to agree. I think if maybe I'm kind of still intoxicated from what happened at South Carolina, but man, those bigs can play 80% at that level. We're in pretty good shape.
That was cool seeing Acapara get a career type night before he left.
Yeah.
Big Dog in West Tennessee says the Godfather in WWE was the best fictitious pimp.
Ah, okay.
Did you like the Godfather?
No.
You don't remember the Ho Train?
No, I wasn't that big of a WWE fan.
When I was at UT, Raw came through, and I went for some reason. And we were up there at the arena the day, like they're loading in and everything.
Looking for the Ho Train?
Well, we were standing on the one of those ramps or whatever, and we saw the Godfather walking in. This where Pratt is now. It wasn't there then, and he's like walking in, and everybody's going, "The Ho Train, here he comes!" And he's walking in there in his vest and everything. He wasn't in full costume, but he was pimping. He didn't have the Ho Train with him.
What about Gary Oldman in True Romance?
It's been a while since I've seen that. Was he a pimp?
Yeah. Morgan Freeman, Mean Streets. Check it out. That was one I was thinking of.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bear. Thank you, Walker. Have a great weekend. Voluntary reaction after the game tomorrow here on Fan Run Radio.
The Drive. Fan Run Radio, the flagship station for Tennessee fans.
This ain't no wishy-washy, limp-wristed, kale-eating, half-ass sports radio station.
We're your in-your-face, truth-telling, say it loud, flag-waving, face-painting, hardcore, bring the noise, causing a ruckus, don't give a damn sports station.
Sports talk that doesn't just hang up and listen.
For the fans. This is Fan Run Radio.
Get some.
Surfside is made with vodka, real tea, and real juice, and has only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right. No bubbles, no troubles. That's why Surfside was named the 2025 Spirit Brand of the Year by MarketWatch. Their variety packs come with options: iced tea, lemonade, or green tea. Find your flavor by trying them all. Surfside, sunshine in a can.